Johnson's a very confident kid, moves the puck really, really well. He's got a good stick on the blue line. He's got some jump to his game. He likes to jump up and join the rush and really get involved in the offensive play.
Terrific skater, just like his dad was, who played for us back a while. He's a determined kid, hard-working kid.
He's the guy that's willing to go to those areas that a lot of players don't want to go, and he has an ability to finish.
The way he skates, I think he's got a lot of upside.
Really competitive, plays with a lot of energy, relentless on the forecheck and the puck, and with that quickness and pace and skill, he can really carry the play and drive.
Lots of upside. He's a big athletic kid that kind of fits the profile of the goalies that are playing the NHL right now.
Actually, I used to live in Ottawa, so it's kind of a little hometown for me, so I'm really happy to be an Ottawa Senators.
He's 6'3", he can shoot the puck, he scores, he's got great speed, he's got to get a little quicker.
It jumps off the ice at you. I mean, he's extremely competitive kid, type of kid that's going to run through a wall for you, do whatever you ask of him.
Minnesota kid, high-end character kid.
I think he can get skill and character, and our staff, I think, did a tremendous job of identifying that this year.
Ottawa or Belleville was one of the first openings to come about here early in the spring, and obviously, when my contract wasn't renewed with Washington, it was time to start looking, and this was one of the opportunities that was for me. And
looking forward to this one between the Whites and the Reds, and that's coming up in just a few minutes' time. We're going to speak with Pierre Dorion, general manager, shortly. But let's immediately bring in the chief amateur scout for the Ottawa Senators. It is Trent Mann. Trent, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, how important is this for you? I mean, it's about drafting, but it's also about development. So you get to see, I guess, the fruits of your labors with a lot of the players you drafted and some invites as well. Just your thoughts on how development camp has gone so far.
Well, I mean, so far so good. We're really pleased with the way things have went so far. I check in on a daily basis with the equipment staff and the medical staff and the coaching staff and everyone that's involved. All the feedback is extremely positive. And they look really good on the ice. There's good pace, there's good speed when they're on the ice, high intensity. That's what we were looking for. And so far, there's really no complaints. We're extremely pleased with the way things are going.
I'm always curious with your new draft picks, and every one of them are here from you drafted last week. I don't know, is it kind of like you take the car for the test drive and you like it, then you start, I bought it, and now I'm going to take it around and use it every day in my life, and you get a chance to see them here. In a Sens uniform, starting to get through your systems, and how does your assessment change right away?
Well, I think your assessment doesn't change that much. I think what happens now is that you remind them of the positives that they bring to the table, and also you have to identify some of the things that they need to work on because no player is perfect, and so it's our job now to move it into the development stage where we're identifying those things. We're making a plan. We're helping them along with those items. They have input on it as well, and we'll give them some feedback. We'll give them some tools to work with, with the staff that they need to contact for the different things that they'll need, and we'll continue to monitor and work with them along the way to get them into a Sens uniform as soon as possible.
Brady Tkachuk, I know a lot of focus on him here this week. The number 4 overall pick. What did you like in him when you took him, and what have you seen from him so far this week?
Well, I mean, number one is the way Brady conducts himself. That's the first thing. So, he's out on the ice. He's having a great time. You can tell he loves being on the ice. But at the same time, he's working extremely hard to get better every time he's on the ice, which is that's contagious. And when you're seeing somebody maybe that's 20 or 21, kind of feeding off that energy, that's an impressive thing, you know. So we're extremely happy with that so far. You know, he's the same guy that's walking off the ice and there's a kid standing there and he's stopping and he's chatting with him and he's signing an autograph and he's taking a picture with them because he understands the value of that as well. And you know, basically, you know, he the way he goes about his business, the way he plays the game, is how we want the Sens to be represented. So I think he's a good piece moving forward to help us move in that direction.
What would you say to some fans out there that think, you know what, Zadina was on the board and they take Brady Tkachuk, and it just seems to me, I think there's a lot of fans that when they hear, oh, he's tough and he has character, that means he doesn't have skill, right? That's not the case with this player.
That's not the case. Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, Zadina is an excellent player, and it's not like the scouting staff didn't like Zadina, but you only can pick one player, and there's a lot of good players right in where we were picking. But for our organization right now, we believe that we get the best combination of skill and character and grit and leadership that existed in the draft. And those guys, you can't trade for those guys, and you can't go out and get those guys that easily. So we feel that we picked a guy that now he's ours, and now we don't have to look for that kind of a player because we have them on staff. And so you know, maybe 2 years down the road, you know, if somebody like Brady Tkachuk is there, maybe you take Zadina instead, depending on how the draft will go, because you already have that person in your lineup. But at the end of the day, people aren't going to be disappointed in Brady Tkachuk. He's going to produce points, and you know, that's not an issue. If you look through his history, he's produced lots of points. He took on a little bit more of a playmaking role last year rather than a goal-scoring role, but that was the dynamic. You know, he played with Jordan Greenway as his center, and Jordan Greenway is a power forward for the Minnesota Wild. So, you know, he took on a little bit more of a playmaking role there. So, of course, your goal scoring is going to take a little bit of a hit when you take on that kind of a role. But you know, if you watch him play and you see the things that he does on the ice to create offense, maybe it's not even necessarily the pass. Maybe it's the play just before that happened to create that opportunity. Those are the things that Brady does, and you know, he'll need a little time, just like every other player needs a little time. So we don't want to put too much pressure on the poor kid either, because you know that's not fair. But the reality is that he handles that pressure better than most. And if you look at the World Junior Championships, I don't think anybody complained about his offense at the World Junior Championship, and he played against older kids there too. He had more points than Zadina in the World Junior Championship. So at the end of the day, you know, like, we have to be careful with that. And I don't really, you know, I don't like the fact that people say, oh, he didn't like Zadina. He loves Zadina. You know, he's a great kid. He's going to score goals. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, you can't pick everyone you want at that point.
No, absolutely.
When you look at the rest of your draft this year, there's a lot of players that played Alberta Junior League, BCHL, high school hockey, junior in the United States. You look at a guy like a Blake Wheeler, for example. When he was drafted out of high school, it took him 4 years before he was even making the National Hockey League. With the rest of this group on from Tkachuk down, after Tkachuk, are there a lot of these guys that are long-term projects when you look at them?
Not necessarily. I think, for example, at Lowhite, he's a kid that's going to go to the BCHL next year in Penticton, and then he'll go to Duluth, Minnesota Duluth after that. You know, his process might be a little bit longer than the average because he's going to go to Tier 2 next year. So, but he's also a 7th-round pick, and that's you're drafting based on the potential there, and a little bit, and you understand it's a little bit longer term. You know, a kid like Bernard Docker, for example, you know, I mean, I think people will notice very, very shortly here what he's going to be able to do, and I don't see his path being 4 or 5 years. And quite honestly, the younger players now, it's not taking as long, and you know, some of that has to do with salary cap and the fact that entry-level deals are playing sooner. But you know, I'd be very, very shocked if Bernard Docker is playing his 4th year at North Dakota. I'd be very shocked. North Dakota produces more NHL defensemen than any other college program in the NCAA. You know, his skating is there, his playmaking ability there. He's an extremely intelligent player. You know, I just don't see it being a long term. I see it being, you know, one of those guys that's going to probably play 2 years, maybe 3. But Christian Willander could have come out after 2 and played as well. He decided to go back to his 3rd year, and that's fine too if that's what the best idea is for development. But at the same time, Bernard Docker, I don't see it being a longer-term project. You know, Tyconic, another kid going to North Dakota. You know, it may take him a little bit longer, in my opinion, just based upon the way he plays the game. He's a little more run and gun, and he may need to learn how to control that a little bit better. But in North Dakota, they're going to teach him that, so we may be surprised by that one. It might not take as long either. But we feel we've got, now we have 2 really, really good defensemen for the future, and so now it's 2, 3, 4 years before they play with the Ottawa Senators. But at the end of the day, we're going to have 2 really good defensemen playing for the organization. So we're excited about that.
I wanted to touch quickly on Tkachuk and Bernard Docker from the sense of, take us back to draft night. You got the 22nd pick. That's a key piece of the Brassard trade. And Pierre comes to you and says, listen, I got a deal. I can trade down, and you can get a couple guys here. How excited were you to be able to have that extra pick?
Well, I mean, going into the day, if you said, well, we can acquire a second-round pick and still get a player that we were targeting, I mean, you take that in a second. So at the end of the day, we left with Brady Tkachuk, Jacob Bernard Docker, and a second rounder. Going into the day, we had the fourth pick and 22. So I think all around that was a pretty good day. I think Pierre obviously did a great job of working that, and as a staff, we targeted different numbers and different teams and see if we could make those deals, and Pierre was able to make it happen. So at the end, we even looked at even moving down again, but at the same time, when we evaluate what was there, what the option was, we just felt at that time, let's take the player that we want here and be happy with what we had. And so at the end of the day, based upon my knowledge now, I think we've made the right decision, not moving back. Just a little piece of information that you acquire after the draft. Yeah. I think we made the best decision that was available to us at that time.
Yeah. Who else has impressed you this week?
Well, we've had some invite kids that looked really, really good as well. The Nico Sturm and the Trail Max kid is from Maine. Nico Sturm from Clarkson. The Lynch kid from Drummondville. Burzen from out west. He's a 2000. I can't believe he went through the draft at the time because we were a little surprised. He was right there for our late round picks as well, and we were able to get him to come to camp, so we're excited about that. So a lot of actually, I can't really say there was a kid that's been disappointing this week, and that's pretty impressive. And so we're really, really excited about who's here and the opportunities that are going to come from that.
Good stuff. Well, I'm told we got to wrap right now. We're going to bring on Pierre Dorion in a little bit, but good to speak with you again, Trent.
No, it was nice to
enjoy this game.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, there's Trent Mann, the Chief Amateur Scout of the Ottawa Senators, and just waiting for Pierre Dorion, who's going to be able to slide in here in a little while here. Thank you very much, Trent.
Another son drafted into the NHL. How proud are you guys to see Brady selected 4th overall tonight?
I was happy for him. I could just see the expression on his face. He's worked hard. He's had to play behind his brother and see his brother, and there's a lot of pressure on that. And just to see how hard he's worked to get to this point, I think it showed. It's rewarding seeing him get picked this early to a team who really wanted him.
As a mother, seeing your sons kind of achieve their goals, it must be special to see.
It is. It's really special. I mean, obviously they've worked really hard to get to this point, and obviously there's no guarantees in this sport, but to see them do as well as they've done and following their dreams it's so rewarding as a parent.
It was, I guess, just exciting. Like it was really neat to be here and see it firsthand, and then watching the first kind of couple names get called and you get to watch it. It's just a really fun experience to take in firsthand.
When I talked to him afterwards, he said it was a bit of a blur after he was picked. Was it like that for you guys too? Once you hear his name called, everything kind of changes real quick.
Absolutely. I heard them say Okotoks Oilers, and I looked at our daughter Island, and she looked at me and she was like, "That's Jacob." Yeah, we are super excited, and he's really excited as well.
I think that you hear his name and you're like, wow, and you're super excited for him and the hard work you put in, but then you're like, holy crap, that just happened. And like you said, you kind of you go blank a little bit.
You mentioned Brady kind of playing behind his brother. It was nice to see him maybe get picked a few slots ahead of Matthew tonight.
Oh yeah, we joked about that. We loved it, trust me. And but it's good. It's just fun to see both the boys work hard, and you know, they want to play in the National Hockey League, and Matthew's obviously there right now, and Brady wants to get there too. And you know, it's just it's the good thing is we got maybe one kid on the East Coast and one kid on the West Coast, so we get to watch a lot of hockey.
Yeah, we're super proud of Jacob. He's worked really hard to be here, and we're just excited for the day, and we're really excited for him to stay in Canada, and have a lot of good friends in Ottawa who are losing their minds right now over him wearing a Sens jersey. So it's a good day.
Brady mentioned that you guys had 95 people with you tonight. Is it special to have that many people come together for your son's night like this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it means so much to us that many people would want to come here and support him and be there for him and watch this. So we're thrilled, and it's going to be a fun weekend.
It's the second year in a row you guys have taken a goalie, and you required Augustus this year.
All right, welcome back, Sens TV. We just had Trent Mann on, the Chief Amateur Scout of the Ottawa Senators. Of course, this is Pierre Dorion, the General Manager, now getting set for the Red and White Scrimmage live from the Richcraft Sensplex. Steve Lloyd, AJ Jacobek with you from TSN 1200. All right, I asked Trent this similar question. I want your perspective. You're picking at 22. You have a chance to move down. Take me through that process, because he was pretty excited to get that extra pick, and you got two of these defensemen to watch here tonight.
Yeah, no, when we got to pick 22, we knew there was still a few guys on the board that we really liked. We liked the depth of the draft, that we figured wherever we could move in the second round, we would get another player that we felt would be a very good NHL player down the road. We talked to every team from 22 to 31. And we were able to find a match with the Rangers that they had picked 26 and 28. We were able to get one of those two picks, and they had a multitude of picks in the second round. And we felt we did a really good deal for the value of getting those two picks afterwards.
The number 4 pick, Brady Tkachuk. I think a lot in this market. There's always going to be that comparison going forward with Tkachuk, with Zadina.
Yeah.
What was it about Brady Tkachuk that you felt comfortable with to pass on such a talent like Philip Zadina at 4?
Well, they were both good players. You know, they were the next two guys on our list. There's no secret about that. Even afterwards, we had great discussions all the way through 10 about who we could take it for. But when it comes to picking a guy like Tkachuk, it was the intangibles. Obviously, we feel that their skill levels are very close to each other. We feel that guys like Brady Tkachuk, the power forward element, those guys are impossible to get on trade markets. You got to draft those guys. And for us to get a guy like him, we were really excited to do so. And we've talked a lot in the last 2 weeks about the character, the accountability, the leadership, and we know that Brady can bring all those elements to the table.
Is it that much more important now? I mean, fighting seems to be going by the wayside, not 100%, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. So those guys, you watch Washington in the finals, you see Smith Pelly, you see Ovechkin, you see some of the guys, Tom Wilson playing, and he's not going to be any of those three players, but just the value of a guy who can play a physical game but also have that skill. Is that even greater now that fighting has diminished?
I think that's a great point, AJ. I think when you look at it, where the goals are being scored now all around the net area for the most part, and the ability to win battles because there's less fighting, having that strength and the size, I think becomes even a bigger factor. Because if you can have that physical presence night in, night out, and there's less fighting, well, you're going to bother the opposition even more.
All right, let's move on to some other matters here. You are in a very busy time of year, let's put it that way. You got free agency coming up on Saturday. Now, I know at the draft you said you didn't really want to get into any of your players here, but I'll kind of ask you that way. How busy will you be in the coming days with maybe some of your current roster players, let alone free agents? Is there a possibility of some signings of some players that need contracts between now, I don't know, say Tuesday?
When it comes to possible contracts, possible trades, possible roster moves, we're really not going to get into that today. Today's about development camp. The one thing I can tell you, and people have seen it, is that we've gone through the process of buying out Alex Burrows, so hopefully one of the players here can take his spot in the lineup this year. But when it comes to our roster, we're going to try and not tip our hand too much, not talk too much about strategies, because We've learned that sometimes when you do things and after the fact, I think our fans are as excited about it.
All right, Burrows will be the only buyout in this window?
In this window, Burrows will be the only buyout.
Okay. All right.
Who's impressed you this week?
That's a good question. Obviously, we can all talk about Logan Brown. We can all talk about Brady Tkachuk. We can all talk about Colin White. But the guy that we've really noticed personally is our other first rounder in Jacob Bernard Docker. Is someone I watched on video, never saw in person, and how he does things at an elevated pace has really impressed us. Guys like Parker Kelly, the work ethic has really impressed us. Sturts that we signed out of Penn State, another guy with a high level of work ethic, has really impressed us. As far as goaltending, maybe someone that was a bit off the map last year, Jordan Hollett, I've seen him stop a lot of pucks at this camp. So those are the guys that, maybe not the big names, but that have left an impression.
You've got a few guys here. This is their fourth Dev Camp, like Colin White and Gabriel Gagne. How many players do you think at this particular camp have a realistic chance to make your big roster coming up opening night in October?
Well, we'd like to have a lot of them. We know we can't win with all kids.
Yeah.
So it's always finding the right mix and match of veterans and implementing young players in our lineup. If you see Colin White's here, he's got probably the best chance of all the kids. I think guys like Logan Brown has a very good chance. Depending how the next few weeks go with Brady Tkachuk, we said we'd assess the situation for a possible contract signing at the end of development camp and sit down with his representatives at that point in time. You look at someone like Christian Wolanin, I think he's got a good chance the way he finished. He wasn't someone that just stepped in our lineup. He actually stepped in our lineup and did some good things.
Did that surprise you? It surprised us. We knew he was a good prospect. He played so well right away.
Yeah. I will say it surprised us a bit, but at the end of the day, it didn't surprise us at all because he had such a good year. He was such a dominant player at North Dakota that we felt that he was very close to the NHL, and whether he spends time in Belleville or comes directly to Ottawa, we know down the road he's a solid NHL player.
What are some of the options for Brady Tkachuk? We know about Boston University. Obviously, Ottawa could be an option, but is Belleville an option? Is the OHL an option? I mean, what are you looking at right now?
You know what? It's a good question again, AJ. We don't know. It's been a whirlwind for the kid, going from from the combines to interviews to being on Hockey Night in Canada to visiting teams to being drafted. I don't think the family's had the chance really to sit down and look at all their options, and we're going to be very respectful of what they want to do. We're going to give our suggestions on where we think Brady should play in the upcoming year, but we're going to be really respectful of them. We have a good relationship with the family advisor and Craig Oster, and we said that we'd let this week go by with the development camp, and within the next 2 weeks we'd sit down and talk to them.
All right, who else is anybody jumped off the page so far at this development camp? I know you always stress it's a development camp. It's not an evaluation camp, but come on, you're always evaluating.
Yeah, we are always evaluating. Someone else that probably has stepped up, when you look at guys like Jonathan Gruden, he's tough not to notice. And we've been looking a bit more at the newer guys we drafted, and Angus Cruikshank.
Great name.
Yeah, love the name. So those are guys that are really that have popped out. We're over the last few days we've looked at a few of those guys, a few guys that could be possibly college free agents. I'm not going to give names there. So we're really looking forward to tonight, and it's a great thing. It's 35 degrees outside, standing room only. First time we've added in the East End, and for our fans to come and support us like this, I think it's just a wonderful thing.
How important, when you talk about development, how important is to get Belleville better as well?
Oh, to get Belleville better is a priority. I think we have to put our kids, our prospect in an environment where they can win. It's not just about putting a bunch of kids down there and letting them figure it out. If you do that, you're not going to learn how to win. So adding quality veterans down there is a key focus of us moving forward.
And you brought in Troy Mann as head coach, a guy who had quite a bit of success at Hershey. What did you like about him to put him in that role?
Well, when we were going through the interview process, something just clicked right away with us. And when we sat down, just Troy and myself at the draft, there was just a synergy between the both of us that we felt. Obviously, he's met with Guy, and you look at, I think, 13 players off the Washington Capitals played for Troy. There was a few on the Vegas Golden Knights who also played for Troy. And Troy understands the league. He's got the experience. He understands how important winning is, but how important development is, and finding that great mix. And I told Troy that right now he's probably my second favorite man in the Mann family, but we're very happy to have him on board.
Well, there'll be a sibling rivalry there. Like, you're not playing my prospects enough. Well, you didn't draft well enough, so that'll go on. I'm sure you'll have to mediate at some point in the future.
At some point in time, we'll mediate.
All right, always a pleasure, Pierre. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Pierre Dorion, General Manager of the Ottawa Senators. Scrimmage is about to get underway. It's a red and white game. We're live at the Richcraft Sensplex. We're back in a moment on Sens TV. All right, we're back live on Sens TV. We're almost ready for the start of the red and white scrimmage. We are at the Richcraft Sensplex here in the East End. First time development camp has come to the East End. Usually this game takes place at the KRC for the last number of years. Now, it used to be at the Bell Sensplex. They moved it to the KRC because it was too jammed. People wanted to come watch this game. And now they said, you know what, let's take it out to the East End as well. It is jammed in here. So great for the East End Sens fans to come out and check out development camp here with the red and white scrimmage. This game I love coming to watch in each and every year. I know you do too as well, AJ, that really you get to see how competitive that these kids are. It's a development camp, right? But we talked to Pierre Dorion. There's always an evaluation. You want to put in a good impression. This is a real game. They're playing from the tips out here. It should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I always look forward to seeing some of the kids that aren't going to be at camp. And you talk about the guys that are going to the University of North Dakota, guys like Jonathan Tyconic and also Jacob Bernard Docker. I mean, we're not going to see them at camp this year because it's a professional camp. They can't come. Otherwise, their eligibility gets ruined. And so we will get a chance to see them. And this is the last chance we'll see them in Ottawa, probably until next development camp. So those are some of the players I'm excited to watch. Certainly Brady Tkachuk is another, and who knows, maybe we don't see him in the fall depending on where he plays. If he's going back to Boston U, he won't be in Ottawa for another year. So excited to watch a lot of the new drafted players, and also just to see how much closer the Colin Whites and the Christian Yaroses of the world are to maybe cracking the Ottawa roster, whether it's on a full-time basis or whether it's even just for a call-up. I mean, there's always levels on where he can go. I mean, if you're not up for a job right away, you want to be that guy that is maybe the first call-up or the next call-up. So there's always that pecking order that you're trying to compete for, and that's why, like you said, it's development camp, but you're always being evaluated.
No, when you look at the roster, that some of the players that we're going to see here, there are a lot of players that have already played games for the Ottawa Senators at this development camp that we're going to be able to see in this scrimmage. And you mentioned a couple of the names, and there's two players that actually broke camp with the big club last year, and Alex Formanton and Logan Brown, and they're back here for another year of development back at this camp here. And those are two players that we asked Pierre this question: how many guys do you foresee really having an opportunity to make the Ottawa Senators? Now, we had to ask him about the here and now, and he gave us the same answer he gave everybody at the draft. He does not want to talk about roster players. Fair enough. because changes are coming. I think he's pretty much said it at the town halls, so did the owner. So also, if you're one of these young players, especially the guys that have already had a bit of a taste, man, the door's open here, more so in this organization. So it would seem for this coming fall than many other teams around the league, there's going to be opportunity for young players to break into the lineup.
Yeah, and I think sometimes in this organization, Logan Brown maybe is almost a little bit forgotten, right? Because you think about the here and now and the Brady Tkachuks, and you think about, Thomas Chabot playing, and so we know one thing for sure. Logan Brown's turning pro this year.
Yes.
He's not going back to junior. Whereas a guy like Alex Formanton, he could end up playing back in junior with the London Knights. But for Logan Brown, he could start in Ottawa, he could start in Belleville. So he's starting his professional career and anxious to see what kind of step he takes from the offseason from a year ago. We know this about Logan Brown. When you talk about guys with that kind of skill at that size, there's not a lot of guys out there that bring the skill set that he has to the table, and that's why they took him where they did in the draft 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's always interesting to talk about these players like Logan Brown that have exhausted their junior eligibility. Like, he's not going back as an overager. He's done with junior hockey, and you wonder how close they really are. We know Logan Brown is really close because he was able to make the team out of camp last year and get a little bit of a taste, but Drake Batherson's another player that he is turning pro, and he's coming off just a fantastic junior season, one of these late bloomers, if you will. And we all know he led Team Canada in goal scoring at the World Junior Hockey Championships. He was awesome in the regular season with two teams as he was traded in the Q, went all the way through the playoffs, almost made it to the Memorial Cup. He lost in the Q final and was one of the best players in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And that's a guy that's turning pro that, you know what, maybe he has a great camp, but it's not like an either-or scenario. He doesn't go back to junior. You don't see him again. He's in this organization, and depending on how strong his camp is here, you have to think maybe at some point this year he's got a good chance to play some NHL games.
Here's the exciting thing, I think, if you're a Sens fan right now, is with the Tkachuks and the Browns and the Formantons and the Bathersons and some of these players, this is probably as deep a prospect group as they've had in a long time. Certainly 12, 13, 14 didn't really produce as many players maybe as they would have liked from those three drafts, but I think from what we've seen, certainly from 15, 16, 17, way too early to judge 18 for sure, but from those three drafts, certainly looks like they're back to where they were in terms of 08, 09, 2010, 2011. I know 2010, they didn't have a lot of picks, but they still got a Mark Stone in the 6th round, and I remember coming to those development camps and the rookie camps those years, and you would look at them versus the Montreals, the Torontos, the Chicagos, the Pittsburghs, the other teams that they would play in those tournaments, and Ottawa was stacked in terms of their prospect roster, and I think they're getting back to that point where they've got, with these last 3 or 4 drafts, a real stacked prospect group once again.
All right, you can see now that the players have made their way onto the ice here, taking their positions at the blue line. I think we're going to have the anthem and we're going to have some introductions. So when that starts, we'll turn it over to the PA system here as well. It is the red and white scrimmage, happens each and every year at this development camp. And this year we're coming to you live from the Richcraft Sensplex here in the East End. And as we had Pierre Dorion and Trent Mann already on, AJ. Intermission guests will include Guy Boucher in our first intermission, and Sean Donovan, development coach, and does a little bit of everything for this organization, will be joining us in the second intermission. I think we're getting set ready now for the introductions. Here is the PA announcer.
Please welcome Number 38, Luca Berson. Number 43, Jonathan Palacone. Number 54, Ryan Staffel. Number 58, Maxim Elijah. Number 60, Robert Lynch. Number 63, Jakob Moab. Number 64, Nico Stern. Number 68, Luke Loy. Number 73, Charles Edouard Gaspou. Number 71, Andrew Stoddard. Number 79, Drake Epperson. Number 81, Jonathan Rudin. Number 82, Jay Stewart. Number 83, Christian Yellow. And number 94, Ian Shy. And now introducing Team One versus the goaltenders, number 31, Jordan Holland. Number 35, Marcus Hopper. And number 70, Evan Lindley. Number 29, Edward Donuts. Number 37, Zach Jordan. Number 42, Yanni Bennett. Number 45, Parker Kelly. Number 48, Jacob Bernard Becker.
You guys on?
Number 49,
Not right now.
Shea. Number 55, Raymond McLeod. Number 57, Boston Lear. Number 62, Kyle Burton. Number 41, Gabriel Donier. Jonathan Espino. Number 78, Philip Chappé. Number 85, Miles Zendron.
Okay.
Number 22, Ryan Butler. And number 96, Graham Olbridge. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your 2018 Ottawa Center Prospects. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise, salute your guests, and join us in the singing of our national anthem.
Our home and native land.
All right, there we have it. We've had the anthems. We've had the introductions. It's time to play some hockey. As the scrimmage is about to get underway, the red and white scrimmage here live from Sens Development Camp. We are coming to you from the Richcraft Sensplex in the East End on this Friday evening here. And just before we get underway, we have a little bit of news we should pass along. Pierre LeBrun and Darren Dreger are both reporting that the Kings have come to terms, I guess you have to say in principle at this point, nothing official until Sunday, on a new deal for Drew Doughty. 8 years, and the annual average, according to Darren Dreger, saying that it's going to be around $11 million a year. And Sens fans, I know what you're thinking. All right, well, I guess that's around where the bar is as to what it will take maybe to get Erik Karlsson signed. So a little bit of news to pass along here just before we get underway for the red and white scrimmage. Steve Lloyd and AJ Jacobek with you. And AJ, take it away.
Yeah, well, we've got Marcus Högberg in one net and Philip Gustafsson in the other. So a pair of Swedes in goal as the red and white game is underway. And the Reds trying to work it out to center, but that puck knocked down in the middle of the ice by Gagne. And the Reds will work it to center a second time as they gain the line on the right side. Good stick by Gendron. And now here's Gabriel Gagne. Cycling behind the goal is Colin White all over him. But he will get it ahead. And here they come to center. It's Kelly. McLeod with a pass across, and that misses. And the Reds get it out to center. Batherson plays it in behind the net. Wolanin there for Team White. And he'll move it ahead to Jacob Bernard Docker. Youngster played in Okotoks and off to the University of North Dakota. Nurmi forced back, and he's hammered by Andy Sturtz, the ex-Carleton Place Canadian. Now Brady Tkachuk with a puck. Works it into the slot. Tkachuk, nice move, dishes, and it just hops over the stick of Lajoie, pinching in from the point. Lajoie gets it back to the right side, but this shot is blocked by Alex Formanton, the speedy forward. Now Nurmi to center. Cross for Philip Schlappick. In behind the goal, Schlappick will skate to the left side, and that's taken away. Good pace here to start this one as Team Red will dump this puck in.
Brady Tkachuk with a nice play in his first shift, and he's back out there again right now, created another turnover. But he was able to shield the puck from Wolanin to set up a great opportunity.
The Whites have it in behind the net. Lear leaves it there for Caldas, and he'll send it up the left wing boards. Ooh, stepping up there to make the hit on Trail Max. Looked like that it was Dastus with that play there. And the Reds will flip this puck out to center. Here's Brady Lyle. Spent last year split between North Bay and Owen Sound in the Ontario Hockey League. And he's got the puck now in behind the white net. Up the right side, dangerous pass. As Team Red able to get a stick on it through Burzin. Ooh, oh, big collision there as stepping up was Lowhite. And a hello to Steve Lowhite watching this in Minnesota, we understand, watching on Sens TV here today. As Team Red will regroup at their own line. Chipped ahead on the left side. Novak trying to get it in deep. Forced back. And Novak will play this rink wide out to center. The Whites went out with a quick D to D, and it's Aspero. Across for Lillibridge. Lead pass to center, and that's broken up by Christian Jaros. The Whites get it back, and a quick shot, and they score. And that's put home by Cruikshank. Angus Cruikshank with the goal. And the Whites lead it 1-0.
A quick turnover. Yarrow stepped up, made the play, but it was quickly taken away from him. And a great cross-crease pass over to Cruikshank, who was selected in this past entry draft just last week. And he goes short side, blocker side to open up the scoring here.
Well, we saw Christian Jaros step up, and I'm anxious to watch Christian Jaros, how close he is to pushing for a spot in the coming season. And
he would have played more as the season unfolded, but unfortunately he ran into a bunch of injuries. And it limited how many games he could play.
Colin White with a shot there that's stopped as the Whites will work this out to center again. Here's Kelly. feeds the trailer Gagne, but a good back check, and the Reds will move this out to center. Played inside the line, but Wolanin with quick transition play. Kelly couldn't get it in deep, and the puck stuck in the neutral zone. Stewart moves it ahead, and it's dumped into the white end. And back behind the net is Caldas. Chased by Tkachuk. He'll leave it on the left side, Wolanin. Now to Formanton. Rink wide, Caldas. Out to center, it's knocked down, and the Reds will play it back into the white end. Hogberg thought about getting outside the net, but thought better of it, and Sturts with a puck down in the corner. Andy Sturts cycles it down low. Tkachuk using that big frame to shield off defenders. Tkachuk with two white defenders all over him, and Schlappick comes out with a puck lead pass and just about able to spring.
He would have been gone.
Alex Formanton, and nobody catches Alex Formanton if it's a race.
And just a moment ago, right down in front of us, there's Tkachuk at center going off on a change. From our vantage point, right, you can just see what he brings to the table below the goal line, the kind of game that he can play.
Yeah, all sorts of size and strength down low as Logan Brown to the pass now. It comes into the slot for Lynch. Moves it into the corner, and Lear now skates it out to center. Takes a hit there. Good work by Berzan, and puck comes back into the white end. Now Scarfo pass into the slot, and the shot by Lynch is blocked. Back comes Team White in transition. As they skated on the left side, it's Trail Max, the Latvian who played at the University of Maine. This pass across broken up, and the Reds will work into center. Good back pressure there. And White's got it once again. That was Kuffner. Throws it on goal. Gustafsson will glove it, and he will hold for a face-off.
And you can tell everybody is paying attention to every detail. As we keep saying, it's a development camp, but evaluation is taking place here. How many back checks have we seen just like that play so far in the neutral zone as we're just getting underway here in this first period?
Team Red moving it in behind their own net. Scheid gets it out to center. Down the ice it goes. Hogberg will just let it go across the goal line for an icing call.
Had a few hits in this game, the biggest of which I think was probably Sturts down to the end boards, one of the first shift of the game. Parker Kelly was involved in a pretty big collision earlier on, but these games traditionally as they move along, usually the intensity starts to ramp up.
Red wins the face-off, and Scheid moves it over on the left wing boards. Held in by Jacob Bernard Docker. A good forecheck and a trip. Referee no call. I can't believe they didn't call it.
Easy now, okay? We don't want to go full Jack you back for everybody here on Sens TV, all right?
No, I did that last night in the football game. Here's Colin White with a nice centering pass, and that's fired just wide. Great pass by White. Low height just fired it wide of the goal. As the Whites will work this out to center. Lillibridge, his pass deflects off a skate, and the Reds work it inside. Nice move by Batherson. Puck just didn't get past Bernard Docker. Got his body in the way, and Lillibridge sends it up the left wing boards. Cruikshank dodges a check from Stewart, and the puck going back into the white end.
Really nice play by Bernard Docker to stay with Batherson on that.
Now Team Red breaking it out to center on the left side, Berzan. Stumped in, Hogberg couldn't get it. And Gendron will skate this out to center. Trying to get it in deep. Tied up right in front of the Red bench. And it's moved up the middle of the ice. This is Logan Brown playing it to the right wing boards. Dumped in past Hogberg. Brown goes after it, but Team White in control. Here's Wolanin taking the pass from Gagne. His pass off the stick of Logan Brown. He's got that big reach, so he'll make a lot of those types of plays. Now Brown trying to cut to the middle of the ice. Knocked away from him. Called us back the other way for Gabriel Gagne. And across the line on the right side. Looking to feed the trailer. It goes off the skate of McLeod, and back come the Reds. Here's Tkachuk into the slot, and this is hammered wide from Christian Jaros.
He powdered that.
As it comes back to Jaros again, right point. Nice little pass, and Working in behind the net is Scarfo, but couldn't maintain control, and back goes Gabriel Gagne for Team White. Yaros is back for it for the Reds. He'll wheel up the right wing boards, plays it ahead to center. Lynch. Now it's Burzan cutting in front of the net. He centers it, and he scores. It's Burzan with the goal. As it
that might have hit
went
Lyle
in
or
off,
somebody.
a White defenseman. And so the goal from Luca Burzan, who we heard from Trent Mann, not drafted, played last year in Moose Jaw and Brandon. It was an invite. It was a player that they were looking at late in the 7th round. And a nice burst of speed, and that stroke of good fortune along with it gets him the goal.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to center the puck, but sometimes you get that bounce, and I think it was Lyle's skate that ended up bouncing in, and he'll take it.
No own goals in hockey. I know everyone's watching the World Cup right now, so that is Burzan's goal.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, soccer needs to change their rule on that one. And I say that as a diehard soccer fan. So we've got a 1-1 tie, middle of this first period. And the Whites back on the attack. Long shot from the point, and that's stopped by Gustafson, as getting it through the traffic was Lillibridge.
Well, I'd say first impressions here in this first period of the newcomers. Bernard Docker, you could see, plays a very poised game, moves around the ice with ease. Simple game, moving the puck up ice. And Brady Tkachuk, he set up Yaros for that one-timer just moments ago before the goal, AJ. And we've seen a bit of his physical play down low, his puck protection. You're seeing everything about his game as to why they liked him so much and took him 4th overall.
As the Whites will get this in deep, Gustafson out to play it. Moves it up the left wing boards. Dastus. What's your take on where Philip Gustafson's at? We'll get that here in a moment, as Team White will try to work it back in transition. They've got it at their own line. But Philip Gustafson's a player that obviously very highly thought of, and the key piece of the deal that saw Derek Brassard go to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how it's all going to play out in Belleville this year with, Philip Gustafson and Marcus Hoberg, a couple of the Swedes, and how the ice time will end up being divvied up there. Like Hoberg, last year was really getting his feet wet as a pro on this side of the pond, and Philip Gustafson now coming over because that was, let's be honest, that was a sore spot for the organization last year. So many things didn't go the way they wanted, including their goaltending, in Belleville.
Got a penalty called. Thought there should have been one earlier in the period, but they
course.
got this one right.
Okay. Is this a makeup call, AJ? You okay with this one? I always got to check with you.
White,
You're always a rant away.
Net empty for a 6th attacker. Lillibridge with a shot. And that's stopped by Gustafson. And now we've got the first penalty of the game against Team Red.
Well, we get the opportunity to watch our first power play. And I'm not sure, are they just going to end up rolling lines here, or do they have something set with some power play opportunities and with different personnel that they might be putting out onto the ice here? But we will have our first man advantage and get a chance for special teams to be on display for the first time in this game. Here's Gabriel Gagne coming over the boards.
So McLeod on this faceoff for Team White against Logan Brown, who wins it. And this will be fired down the ice. So they've got the two St. Louis boys, Logan Brown and Brady Tkachuk, out there killing this penalty. What a story that is, just the emergence of hockey in St. Louis. It's always been a good hockey town, but in terms of development, seeing all the players, the Clayton Kellers of the world, shot here from Logan Brown is stopped by Hoberg.
Another great battle by Tkachuk there to win that puck to set up that chance.
White back the other way, and the trailer, Lillibridge with a shot off the feed from Kelly, and that's stopped by Gustafson for a face-off. But how about just the emergence of St. Louis hockey, and when you get dads staying around like Jeff Brown and Keith Tkachuk, that's Al McInnes and so on and so forth. that's certainly going to help with the development of young players.
Well, and how about the development of St. Louis hockey and all these great prospects we continue to see be pumped out of there. But great Ottawa connections with Jeff Brown having a massive impact. And don't forget about Jamie Rivers and the great job that he does there as well. When we spoke to Brady Tkachuk on In the Box the other day on TSN 1200, we mentioned him and talked about his skills development and said that Jamie Rivers always did a heck of a job with him when he was younger.
How about the speed there of Alex Formanton trying to split the defense, just unable to do so as Team Red will flip this out to center. Gendron with a pass across 2 lines. And a long shot, and that's banged in off the post.
Post and in.
And that is Philip Schlappick with the goal. And we've got a 2-1 White lead.
Oh, it was Marcus Nurmi, I believe,
Marcus
AJ.
Nurmi, okay.
It was Marcus Nurmi, right-hand shot.
No side numbers for the play-by-play guy, and we're at the opposite
we
end
are,
of the
we
rink.
are at the far end of the rink.
Schlappick was out there.
Your vantage point, you're watching on Sens TV. That camera's set up in the middle of the rink as you're used to seeing. We are at the other end, so you have to forgive AJ and myself a little bit there if we get the odd one, but that was Marcus Nurmi. What a shot as he goes posted in. Draft pick from a couple of years ago.
And Marcus Nurmi played the World Juniors this year for Team Finland, which was, of course, a terrific World Juniors for a lot of players on the ice, whether it's Formanton or Batherson or Brady Tkachuk. Wolanin will pinch in, dodges a check. This is rimmed around the boards on the right side. Centering pass. White getting it back to Wolanin in the slot. Quick little toe drag, and the shot is stopped through traffic. And Team Red will send it up the left wing boards. Novak able to clear this out to center. Hogberg out to play it, and the Whites will skate it up the left wing boards as dumped in by Kuffner. Back for it is Batherson. He'll wind it up, trying to get it out to center for Yaros, but couldn't get it out of the zone. And now a shot from close range, and it's now 3-1 Team White, and that's Trail Max with the goal. So the Latvian invite able to get on the scoreboard here, and Edwards Trail Max, who played at the University of Maine, makes it 3-1 White.
Well, Kuffner sealed off the wall pretty quickly, and that's the sequence Drake Batherson would like to have back. He kind of skated himself into some trouble and turned the puck over at the blue line. Finished his hit on Kuffner to try to make up for it, but the turnover had happened, and Team White takes full advantage. 3-1 lead now over Team Red.
Chipped into the red zone and hustling back for it is Tyconic. He'll set up the breakout behind the goal. Dangerous pass. Trail Max intercepts, and a shot on the right side is stopped. Rebound stopped as well by Gustafson. Lear with the original stop, or shot. Now a nice deflection in front, and it's 3-2. Batherson with the pass, and Colin White with the tip in. And so Colin White gets the goal, and it's now 3-2, and this is end-to-end action here.
I was watching at the other end when that turnover happened. A slash had taken place, and the player going off the ice having a problem with his hand, and the action came right down so quickly, and a nice stick by Colin White just driving the net. And we've already got 5 goals in this one, and we're not even through the first period.
Well, big things. Just listening to Pierre Maguire on TSN 1200 earlier in the week, and he still has really high hopes for Colin White in terms of what he can bring offensively. I think everyone knows he's going to be an NHL player, but how high is the ceiling? Pierre Maguire still looks at him as a pretty clear top 6 forward.
Well, still sees him as a 60 to 70 point guy, and if that's the case, the Ottawa Senators and Sens fans would be absolutely thrilled to get a player like that.
Team Red with a puck now. Dastus trying to shake Gabriel Gagne, and he'll move it in behind his own net. Looks to start the breakout up the left wing boards, and they'll move it up the right side. As they cut inside the White zone, it's Brady Tkachuk driving wide, cuts into the slot area, trying to
Easy makes it look
Lose
easy.
Wolanin. Now a centering pass and a shot here by Stewart is stopped. Great save by Hogberg, and it comes back to the point. Left corner, Lynch for Tkachuk. Back to Lynch, into the slot, Tkachuk. Posts up, trying to feed Logan Brown, and Formanton gains control, and he'll flip it out to center.
Brady Tkachuk's a player. This just in. We're getting a first-hand look of everything that he can do well with the puck. And I know we asked Trent Mann about this in the pregame show, and I brought it up to him because I'm hearing a lot of that from the fans, right? And I think a lot of fans fall into the trap, but once you hear, oh, he's tough, he's got intangibles, he's got character, that's code for, oh, he's got that skill, that's a reach, why would you take? He's showing us here so far in just a scrimmage, you can see the skill, you can see the puck protection, you can see the vision. He's having an excellent first period.
Well, you don't pick up 9 points in a World Junior tournament without having a lot of skill, and not a 19-year-old either. He was still has a year left to play in that tournament. If obviously that depends on his future next year and where he's going to be playing. But Team USA, I'm sure, would love to have him back for one more year at that tournament.
And as you know, AJ, that there's so many options with Brady Tkachuk because he wasn't a player drafted out of the CHL. You don't have that restriction where it's all or nothing, right? If he doesn't go back to college, you could sign him, you could bring him to your main camp, and he could go to Belleville and play a bit there and before he's ready to be in the NHL, if that's the case. And hey, listen, if you'd made that decision, you felt that maybe it was a little too much, the London Knights hold his junior eligibility. So this is a player that the organization has a lot of options with right now.
No question, and I've said this numerous times, where he plays this year, whether he plays in Ottawa or elsewhere isn't going to determine one way or the other whether this is a great pick or not.
Oh, no, and that goes for everybody in the draft. There's too much rushing the judgment, on trades, on draft picks. You have to give it some time.
Team Red skating out to center as they get it to the right side. A long shot from low height is deflected and goes right into the netminder Hogberg, who makes the save. We talked about Philip Gustafsson. What about your hopes and thoughts on Marcus Hogberg and what he could do in the coming season after his first year playing professional hockey in North America?
I'm just curious to see how he responds because there's a legitimate push from he was seen as maybe one of the goalies of the future, and now they make the Gustafsson trade. It's a younger guy, just a couple of years, and he's a new kid on the block. So how does Hogberg respond to having that kind of a challenge with another new prospect that, he was a centerpiece for a key trade?
Team Red attacking here again is Colin White with a puck, knocked away from him by Lillibridge, and there's a big hit by Stewart stepping up to run into Kelly.
And you know what? Stewart got a good piece of Kelly there, but I thought he held up, and what you should do in a scrimmage. In a situation, Kelly had no idea he was there. It was a clean hit. I think he could have come through a lot harder than he did, and it was a big enough hit.
A couple of undrafted players there is Chase Stewart out of Rimouski running into Parker Kelly out of Prince Albert and played a little bit in Belleville as well. Lillibridge for Kelly, and he'll flip it to the red line as Team White makes some changes. Batherson gets this puck in deep for the Reds. On the forecheck, Logan Brown, but Aspro gets away, moves it up the left side. Schlopik now to Nurmi. Already has one goal. His shot blocked, goes in behind the net. And the Whites will dig it free. Good battle here on the far side.
Max Lajoie all over Marcus Nurmi.
The Reds will get this out. Whites come back in. Nurmi, nice pass into the slot. Schlopik a shot, and he's stopped by Gustafsson as Philip Schlopik set up by Nurmi and just couldn't find the back of the net.
Well, that's some chemistry quite clear. We saw on the power play a bit earlier as well, but Schlopik and Nurmi have had an excellent first period together, and it seemed to have developed a little bit of chemistry together. And, Schlopik is a guy, he's got a handful of NHL games already under his belt.
Team Red will skate this out to center. Looking to get back on even terms. It's 3-2 White here in the first period of this Sens Development Camp Scrimmage, as the Whites will just get it out to center, delayed offside. And big hit coming across.
Guess who?
That's Christian Jaros.
All 226 pounds of him.
As he runs into Jordan and knocks him over, and I think he took it easy there
he did.
as well.
I got to say, I'm pretty sure they had to tell Christian Jaros after the first period last year in this game, dial it back, big fella, as he was absolutely burying guys.
Dump back in behind the red net. And it's set up the boards by Dastus. Now driving wide is Mikko Sturm. It comes back to the point, Stewart. But Cruikshank will clear it out to center. Bouncing puck, and it's cleared back to center now, Wolanin. So we're into the last minute here in the first. Again, we'll be joined by Guy Boucher momentarily, head coach of the Ottawa Senators, in our first intermission.
Lots of goals to talk about.
Battle right in front of the White bench. The Reds will dig this free. Colin White. Backhand pass knocked down by Wolanin. And the Reds will attack here again. A centering pass coming from low height, and that's broken up. Wolanin sets up the breakout. Outlet pass up the left wing boards. Lear for Wolanin. Slaps it across on the right. And gets it back from Lillibridge. Now to Lear at center. He's cut off. And it's flipped into the red bench by Kuffner for a face-off with just seconds left here in this first period.
Good pace to this one, as we expected that. Everybody's here. We're going to have Guy Boucher on in the intermission, all of the brass, and for many of these players, especially the ones drafted just last week, all the walk-ons, this is your first impression time. And there is the first period. 3-2. Team White leading Team Red through 20 minutes of play. Guy Boucher will be our first guest. In the second intermission, we're going to have development coach Sean Donovan join us here as well on Sens TV.
Johnson's a very confident kid, moves the puck really, really well. He's got a good stick on the blue line. He's got some jump to his game. He likes to jump up and join the rush and really get involved in the offensive play.
A terrific skater, just like his dad was, who played for us back a while. He's a determined kid, hard-working kid.
He's the guy that's willing to go to those areas that a lot of players don't want to go, and he has an ability to finish.
The way he skates, I think he's got a lot of upside.
Really competitive, plays with a lot of energy, relentless on the forecheck and the puck, and with that quickness and pace and skill, he can really carry the play and drive.
Lots of upside. He's a big athletic kid that kind of fits the profile of the goalies that are playing the NHL right now.
Actually, I used to live in Ottawa, so it's kind of hometown for me, so I'm really happy to be at Ottawa Senators.
He's 6'3", he could shoot the puck, he scores, he's got great speed, he's got to get a little quicker.
It jumps off the ice. I mean, he's an extremely competitive kid, type of kid that's going to run through a wall for you, do whatever you ask of him.
Minnesota kid, high-end character kid.
I think he can get skill and character, and our staff, I think, did a tremendous job of identifying that this year.
All right, welcome back here on Sens TV. Steve Lloyd, AJ Jakubek. It's a 3-2 lead for Team White over Team Red, and we're through one period of play of the Development Camp Scrimmage, the red and white game. It's nice to be in the East End for the first time here at the Richcraft Sensplex, and The man right here needs no introduction, but it is the head coach. It's Guy Boucher. How are you, sir?
Very good, and you?
Okay, what about the evaluation? Oh, yeah, good to see you. How are you, sir? The evaluation at this development camp, we keep bringing it up. It's development camp. You don't want to make too much of it here, but you're always getting that first impression, and you're getting a chance, your first impression to see a lot of these guys play in a live game for the first time.
Yeah, no, first of all, it's exciting to see guys, but you're right. First impression, I've learned you got to wait. You got to wait over time. Some kids will have a bit more adrenaline than others. Some guys will take a bit more time to get accustomed to things and to look better later on. So I think what's exciting right now, I think, is the number of quality players. It's by far, for me, in the last 3 years, the best development camp in terms of talent, even for guys that could be ready now. It's not even close. So that's the exciting part, because I'll be honest, right now I'm looking at now, because we know we're going to have a lot of spots open most probably, and we want youth, we want speed, we want pace, and we want pressure, and to be able to pressure you need to have the guys to be able to do it. So that's what I'm looking for right now. So it's not a training camp yet, but yeah, there's some things right now that just stand out, and I like the fact that some names are not big names, but they're standing out right now. So once you got a little mark beside somebody's name 3-4 times in one period, well, they've done something right.
How many of these guys look close to you? I mean, you've worked with a lot of them before, Willanen, White, Formanton, Brown, you can go on and on, Schlappick, guys that have played games already at the National Hockey League level, but how many of these guys look close to you to being full-timers?
Well, you know that some guys have developed. Like you've named a few guys there, like if I remember 2 years ago, they were kids, and they've grown a lot, so you know they've developed. Now, it's always relative to the competition within and the competition with the opponent. I've learned a long time ago, you want to look at what you got, but until you measure yourself against the opponent, against the better players from the opposing team, you're not exactly sure where they're going to be, because every year the pace is faster, players are better, the quality of players increases drastically year to year. And so sometimes a player you thought would be ready, while somebody else has taken their spot already after 1 year. So, and that's the beauty of it. There's excitement because there's new possibilities, new players, and some players that were close might be further just because there's some new players in, and some other players that were further away, train hard, have gained confidence, have gained size and strength and so on, or their spots open in their respective positions, and all of a sudden now they got hope and enthusiasm, and all of a sudden they're just a better player. So many things come into play now, and we're so far away from the real camps, whether it's the rookie camp or the training camp, that I think right now it's a fun and excitement of summer, but let's not be too ahead of ourselves and what it is right now.
I think it's always fun, and even in a game like this, you look for glimpses of what you hear about a player, and we've heard a lot about Brady Tkachuk. You're the same vantage point, AJ and I, just down the one end, so we saw a lot of his work below the goal line, right down beneath us, using his frame to protect the puck, hang on to pucks, find the open man. I thought he did a lot of good things in that first period.
Oh, no, he looked very good. We heard a lot of good things before the draft, but I always say that the best things is after the draft, because you actually hear them from scouts from other teams and GMs from other teams, and
all the information comes out. They want to keep guarding.
Yes, and I think that's where the great information came out after that. Everybody's unanimous about this player. It's not just about the type of player he is; it's about the person he is, and I look at that big time. The intangibles make it what your team is going to be, and if you have great talent with no intangibles, you're going nowhere. And so this guy's got talent, he's got size and intangibles. I know he's been groomed in a family that knows the game. They've been groomed the right way. Obviously, his father's had success, but he's his own player, he's his own man right now. And what I like is I'm looking, and I like his speed, and that's what I was looking at, to be honest with you, because I knew he had size. I knew he's a battler. He's a heads-up guy, but right now what I like is he's looking really good against fast guys that have more experience than him in the American League, for instance, right now. So that says a lot about the kid. Now, obviously, we're going to do everything we can to help him get the best chance possible. I'd love to tell you right now, he's on the team, he's playing with this guy and that guy, but there's so much hope for him, and And yeah, of course, I'm looking at now, and I don't want to get too excited, but it is very exciting. I like him already, but everybody likes him. So I think what I like also about what he's done this week is we hear from the trainers how polite he is, how much of a professional he is already. He's the first at the rink, the last to leave. He always comes back to say thanks to everybody before he leaves. Like little details like that show you what type of person, what kind of intangibles you should expect, and that brings a lot to the table, especially when you start and you're already in a man mode, in a pro mode, rather than a kid mode that's going to take 2-3 years to figure those things out.
He's really nice to the media too, and he doesn't have to be, so we're happy with that too.
Yeah, no, he's a real respectful human being. We knew that though, but it's to see it firsthand, constantly, every day. It's not fake. It's not something that he's doing to impress people. You can see it's him, and we need that. I mean, one of our mandates right now is to have the best intangibles possible, so that we have the best environment for our kids to grow. So definitely, right now, he's already starting to represent that. So that's very exciting for us.
You talked a couple times about guys pushing the pace and how much you like Brady Tkachuk and his skating ability. Is that something you'd like to do a little bit more? And is that something? Did you watch the last 4 of the finals and see 4 teams that could push the pace? And is that something that you want to do a little bit more in the coming season?
Well, that's what every coach wants that. So it's not me particularly. Every coach wants that, but every coach is also dependent on what he's got. And that's if you got some bigger, slower guys, well, then you're going to have to play probably a style like Anaheim plays, where it's about the boards, it's about puck handling and holding on to pucks, being able to regroup in a fashion where you're a 5-man regroup type of. So that'd be one style. Then you got another style where you got a lot of straight line guys that are able to be first on puck, that put a lot of pressure in terms of forecheck. So that's another style. You got another style where you got a lot of east-west stick handling guys. So it depends on the mass of player that you have to create your identity. So you can't decide, okay, I want a fast-paced team when most of your team is not that style of play. So, but if you ask me what I've preferred over my career, it's always fast-paced guy. That's my mentality. It's first on puck. It's the closest man attitude and all that. So, but you need to regroup enough guys to have that identity. And so, yes, of course, what I would like is that. But are enough of those guys ready to make the jump right now? Do we have enough to create that identity? Is what we're hoping. And we want to be faster. We want to have pace. And yes, we want major pressure. I've had swarming teams. I've had all kinds of. I had 4-point pressure teams, whether it's the American League Junior, my first year in Tampa. But you need to see what you got. And right now, I can't tell you what we got because there's too many things that are going to come into play. Whether it's trade, free agency, the number of young guys that are able to do it. But yes, everybody wants a fast team. Everybody wants fast pace. Everybody wants pressure. So of course, we'd like to grow towards that. So hopefully we're able to do that faster than later.
And that was my next question. Just basically, how much do you look at the next couple of weeks and just in anticipation of what could happen, whether it's free agency, trades, and just before you actually come up with a plan to know what you can do with what you've got next year?
Well, I'll be honest. We've been working really hard. I haven't taken any breaks yet. I'll get my vacation in July with the family, but since it was over, we've been in talking, working. The staff's had all kinds of homework. We came back to work, went back to meeting other NHL coaches. I do that every year. So it's books, NHL coaches, psychologists, like you name it, and that's what I do every year. And the coaches are doing the same thing. So as a group, the management is working hard to get players. We're working hard to figure out a way, but right now we got option A, option B, and option C in terms of what we're going to look like. So yes, I can't wait to find out what we're going to have, but we're going to need a bit of patience because it's wide open. We want young guys in. We're gonna leave some spots wide open, so we're not going to fill that roster right now. So it's going to be an exciting camp because once it starts, like I said, being wide open. There might be a lot of surprises, and there might be a totally different look. So that's exciting. But then after that, once it's formed, we're definitely going to need an identity, which I think we lacked last year because we had this type of player, that type of player, and all that. we like something where it's a common identity that we can grow with, so that we have a common purpose and a look to our group. So that's what I'm looking for. You can't have success without having a purpose and identity, and so that's what we're looking for next year.
Good stuff. We'll leave it there. We're out of time. Always like talking hockey with you, Guy. Thanks for joining us here on Sens TV.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
There's the head coach of the Ottawa Senators. We're getting set for the second period of the red and white game live from the Richcraft Sensplex on Sens TV.
Your reaction to going to Ottawa?
Just surreal excitement, I think. Came in kind of just not really knowing what to expect, but, to go to the nation's capital and the history and the background in Ottawa, it's unbelievable.
Is it a surprise to go in the first, or are you hoping?
I think I've put a lot of hard work into this point, and it is surreal, absolutely. But, I think I have confidence in myself, and, I think I deserve.
What would you say you bring?
Pardon?
What would you say you bring on the ice?
I think I'm a versatile guy that can play a lot of different situations, and penalty kill, power play. I think I can do pretty much everything, and I'm a guy that can play a lot of different roles.
Where do you see where you're at right now as far as moving forward? Obviously, you're going the college route, went the AJHL route. How do you think that sort of benefited you?
Yeah, I think I still have a lot of development to do. I think this is definitely a step in the right direction, getting drafted. But I think at the same time, that doesn't guarantee me anything, and I need to continue to work hard and develop my game.
What do the guys in Okotoks mean to you as far as sort of believing in you and putting you on a sort of pedestal, if you will?
Yeah, I can't give enough credit to the people in Okotoks. Starting with my teammates, I know they really allowed me to succeed, and the coaching staff in Okotoks as well. And then I know my billet mom took great care of me, and they're the reason I'm here. So.
What's your billet mom's name?
Rita Wilson.
Did you have a good feeling about Ottawa coming in?
I think it's kind of hard to tell at the combine who kind of likes you, but definitely had a good interview with Ottawa. Yeah.
Do you know yet if you're going to North Dakota in the fall?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to about that experience?
I think just competing against bigger, stronger guys. I think, as I said, I want to get better progressively and keep developing, and obviously develop as quick as I can in North Dakota, and hopefully get to Ottawa.
Was it a conscious choice picking North Dakota over like the CHL round?
Yeah, I think just a bit more time in the gym, and obviously the reputation with North Dakota and moving guys on is a big factor in my decision, but I think the coaching staff was probably the biggest, and just their professionalism and their knowledge about the game.
Have you talked to the coaching staff about this kind of experience now and what they expect out of you for next year?
Yeah, obviously I wasn't supposed to go in next year originally, and so obviously I think they have trust in me. But no, I haven't talked too much about the draft, but excited to.
Who drafted you in the dub?
Pardon?
Who drafted you in the WHL?
Swift Current.
And how much did they make a push to get you last year?
Yeah, I actually went to Swift Current the 2 years after I got drafted for the camp and really enjoyed it. Thought it'd be a great place to play, but I just felt like North Dakota would better suit my development.
You mentioned Cale McCarr in the past, coming a similar path. What kind of role model is he been for you?
Yeah, he's a huge role model of mine. I think obviously coming out of the same league and going 4th overall last year was unbelievable, and one of the hardest guys I've ever played against for sure. And I wish I had his offensive skill.
Guys like you and Johnny Tykonik, you played together. You both kind of chose the same route. Just do you think it's sort of an underrated route as far as going tier 2?
I think it's certainly become more popular. I think a lot of guys are seeing the benefit of a bit of a longer development and lifting weights, and obviously not as a rigorous schedule on your body. So I think it's definitely becoming more popular, and it's a decision I don't regret.
All right, welcome back. Second period is just getting underway. 3-2, White leading Team Red as the red and white game is well underway now. Start of the second period at the Richcraft Sensplex. Steve Lloyd and AJ Jackieback with you. AJ, take it away.
Thank you, Stephen. A very interesting interview with Guy Boucher.
I wanted to keep going.
Well, I think one of the things that we got out of that interview is we talk about the fact that it's a development camp, whatever. You listen to Guy Boucher, he's evaluating guys, and he's looking for guys.
It's go mode
for 2018. who's close to making this team in 2018. And it should be a very interesting and competitive camp with a lot of opportunity for young guys if they're close to making the big club to actually making the big club. Whereas in many camps, a lot of those spots are already taken and just accounted for, and maybe you're battling for one spot. Here's Team White with a chance. Schlappick with a centering pass, and that's broken up. As Team Red will work it back the other way. Brady Tkachuk trying to cut to the middle of the ice, and it's cut off.
Alex Formanton with a nice back check there.
White's looking to answer the pass for Nurmi, intercepted. Comes back in front. Walking the line and taking a long shot. That was stopped by Gustafsson. Just trying to get a look at who that was. That was Christian Wolanin walking the line. Now Tkachuk back the other way with a left-hand shot down his left wing, and that's stopped by Hogberg.
Seeing the opportunity is obviously it's a development camp game. It's done on purpose. They're trying to line match here as well, mix it up with different guys in different situations. And we just saw the Brady Tkachuk go up right up against the Schlappick line, which has Alex Formanton on one wing, who has a little bit of NHL experience, and then Marcus Nurmi on the other.
I think it might be Holland in net, actually. Again, one of the troubles of being at the other end of the rink, but Jordan Hollett, the Medicine Hat Tiger, now manning the net for Team White, as there's an offside at the white line.
It is Jordan Hollett.
It is Hollett, yeah.
There you go. You're good.
Pick that
You're
up.
on top
But
of things.
Hollett's in one
We got
side.
you.
Gustafsson is still in for the other, but there's 5 goalies. They're all drafted by the Ottawa Senators. You got Philip Gustafsson, Marcus Hogberg, who played the first period for Team White, Jordan Hollett, who's in right now, Kevin Mandalese, who played in Cape Breton and was drafted this past season, and Joel DeCord, who's playing at Arizona State University. So those are the 5. So that's why Gustafsson's in. He's playing half the game, and Hogberg out after playing just 20 minutes.
Off the top of my head, too, I don't know if I can remember 5 drafted goaltenders all at the same development camp. Usually you'll get a walk-on or 2 to try to flesh things out.
3-2 the score. Team White leading Team Red, as White will try to break this puck out up the right wing boards, but Red gaining control and set up Lajoie.
I'm very curious to see where Max Lajoie's game goes next. He impressed so much when he was first drafted at his first camp, and unfortunately had some injury problems, but has great mobility, AJ. And remember, they signed him to his entry-level contract before they sent him back to junior.
Here's a wraparound try by Batherson. That's stopped by Hollett. Goes back right point. It's Yaros. Cross on the left side. Taconic keeps it in. Now Yaros winds, shoots, and a pad save. Quick reflexes there shown by Hollett as White will skate it out to center. Driving wide and taking the slapper was Gabriel Gagne. Red back the other way, and slipping was Gruden.
Almost stepped on the puck.
How long before he's nicknamed Chucky, John Gruden?
I'm sure it's happened already.
Earned that nickname and reputation just from the name itself. Here's Logan Brown over the white line on the right side. Gets this back to the point. Stewart a shot, and through traffic, Hollett's able to make the save.
Good aggressive play by Hollett to come out way beyond the top of the crease there to cut the angle off.
Puck goes out of play, and there will be a face-off. Should be a neutral ice.
You're seeing Taconic, who was the extra pick that they picked up when they traded down into the first round, and he's been paired mostly with Christian Yaros out there. And you can see we had Trent Mann on in the pregame show. sees as a little bit more of a longer-term project than some of the other defense prospects, but you can see the mobility that he brings.
Team Red attacking again. Stewart, a shot that misses wide. And cycling that back was Sturts as the puck comes out to center. Here's Formanton. Knocked away from him. And White will move it back up the middle.
That's a skilled play there.
As they cut in behind the net, the centering pass from Schlappick broken up and back the other way. It's Lynch in on a breakaway. He shoots and Hollett makes the save. And so White will work it back out to center. Burzan now for Team Red.
Ooh.
Over the line, able to
Bernard Docker
dodge a
coming
hit
across.
there from Bernard Docker. It's Bernard Docker with a puck in the left corner. He'll skate it up the middle of the ice. Pass up the middle. Connects with Trail Max. And the puck comes in behind the net. Moved ahead by Lajoie for Burzan. Stumped back into the red zone, and Lajoie has it. His pass connects. It's Scheid in behind the goal. That puck is sent in deep, and Team White will skate this back to center. Back for it is Christian Wolanin. He'll go D to D. And the Whites will gain the line with speed. Trying to cut to the front of the net as Kuffner. He's cut off, and Yaros moves it for Lajoie. Nico Sturm out to center. Couldn't gain the line. Following up is Novak. Trying to go east-west, a shot, and he rang that off the iron. Nice work by Novak. But just, the goalie beat in Hollett. But Yakov Novak, who played at Janesville in the North American Hockey League, with a nice little piece of skill there.
It's just seeing Nico Strom, who played at Clarkson last season. Up on your screen, one of the many walk-ons here at this development camp.
Still 3-2 for Team White. Team Red trying to answer, and a nice glove save there on the far side by Hollett, who's looked very good, the young Medicine Hat Tiger, and the Team Red goal. Sorry, the Team White goal.
Colin White's unit back out there with Batherson. Oh, that was a nice little set play right off the draw. Win the face-off. Little give and go. Great opportunity.
Red attacking again. Colin White moves it in behind the net. Here's Batherson. Trying to shake some checking and then behind the goal from Brady Lyle, and the Whites will move it out to center. Oh, great burst of speed here. Cutting in front and shooting is Jordan, and that's stopped by Gustafson. And he hangs on for the face-off. Zach Jordan out of Nebraska, Omaha. Another invite with a nice little burst of speed there and a scoring chance.
And also using his reach, as you can see there, listed at 6'3", and really protected the puck well. Not only got the step on the defenseman, but was able to shield the puck and get to the net.
Face off to the right of Gustafson. Here's Gagne with a puck. Plays it in behind the net. McLeod. Scheid all over him. Logan Brown supporting, and Kelly's got the puck. Now Scheid picks it up for Team Red. Takes a bump, moves it up the left wing boards. Nice play by Brady Tkachuk. Gets it to the middle of the ice. Good board work as Logan Brown gains the line. Brown cuts in behind the net. He centers it looking for Tkachuk, and it goes back to the right wing boards. Now they set up behind the goal again as it comes back to the point. That was Scheid. Comes back, a long shot from Sturts. That's steered away by Hollett. And the puck comes in behind the goal. Brady Tkachuk had his man lined up and only got about 10% of them, but certainly plays an aggressive game. Apple doesn't fall from the tree when it comes to that, and you could say that about his brother Matthew as well.
Oh, absolutely. And we know about that part of his game, but I'll keep saying it, especially in the first period, because we were down at his offensive zone for that period. You could see the skill on display as well. His ability to hang on the puck, shield the puck, find the open man. Guy Boucher was marveling at his speed as well. He really liked what he saw.
Icing called against Team White. I suspect we'll see a goalie change shortly as we approach the midway point of this second period. And Joel Decord, probably the first stoppage after the 10-minute mark, will replace Philip Gustafson. As Team White will flip it back into the red zone. Gustafson leaves it there, left corner. Formanton with a puck. Alex Formanton spinning in the corner, and Berzan will move this out to center. Schlappick now. Poked away from him. And a long shot coming there. Stopped as Scarfo is stopped by Hollett, who's seen quite a bit of rubber here and has yet to have one beat him in this second period. You could say the same for Gustafson at this side.
One post on that great play by Novak earlier, but you're right.
Scarfo moves it down low, and Berzan plays it to the left wing boards. Lynch now with a centering pass, and that's just fired wide from the slot. And here's this Hollett, who's able to make another stop and hold on for a face-off.
Oh, nice play there by Lynch in behind the net to buy himself a little time and get it out into the high slot for a great opportunity. Here's the goaltending change you were looking for. Gustafson has come out of the game here, and Decord is now in for Team Red.
Arizona State University.
Hockey hotbed.
I would say that would be, once they get a facility, because right now they're playing in an arena that's under 2,000 seats, that'll be the number one spot for prospects.
Not a bad place to go. And they're affording Decord the opportunity to get a bit of a warm-up here. Lohite is going to fire some pucks down on him here, get him ready. A little bit of a break in the action. And we just saw the Schlappick, Nurmi, Formanton line for Team White during the last shift, and especially after our conversation that we just had with Guy Boucher in the first intermission, with the type of team that he wants here, the way he wants to play, and how excited he is to get going here. He wants more speed. Like that's quite evident. And I'm watching Alex Formanton, AJ, and I know he can go back and he can play another year of junior, but what he can bring to the table, the way he can play, honestly, anything can happen here, but I would be somewhat surprised if he once again does not break camp with the big club. For many reasons, the least of which being here, that how many changes are still coming to this lineup? How many more openings will there be? And to me, he exemplifies the type of game that Guy Boucher wants to play.
You could see towards the latter part of last season, and the Ottawa 67s played the London Knights twice in a space of a week in the second half of the season, and had a chance to watch both of those games. And that was after London had made a number of trades, trading a lot of veteran players to other teams around the league, trying to build towards the future. And Alex Formanton was kind of the go-to guy, and you could really see what confidence had built in him, being the go-to guy rather than kind of a second-line guy in London. And I think that really helped his game tremendously, and got to play some NHL games and got to play in a World Junior for Team Canada and win gold. So can he make that next step this year? I don't think he's far off, but that's one of those areas where, he's going to be a player battling with with the Colin Whites and the Schlappicks and potentially the Tkachuks and the Bathersons and so on and so forth for some of these spots. And that's what makes this camp very exciting, I think, if you're a young player that's on the cusp.
And you think about a guy like Formanton as well. You saw the step that he took in his game throughout the season. The turnover.
Wow.
What a save. Did Jordan Hollett ever get a good push across there?
That was all created by Colin White, and then a nice play by Schlappick, and just Gruden robbed by Hollett at the end.
That was just a great read from the goaltender. That turnover happened so quickly right in front of him. The read and react and get that push across was outstanding. We have a power play coming here.
Oh, penalty shot. Here we go.
Why not? Why not? I don't know if he was totally in the clear, but close enough. Let's give the fans something here.
Should mention as well, it wasn't Schlappick, it was Batherson, 79, not 78. And White to Batherson to Gruden, and he is robbed by Hollett, but now Gruden gets another chance with a penalty shot to try to get the better of Jordan Hollett, who's been unbeatable so far in this second period.
Father John, briefly a Sen, very successful coach in Hamilton.
All right, here we go. Jonathan Gruden picks up the puck, cuts in and shoots, and once again, Hollett able to make the save as Gruden trying to go 5-hole, and a pad save from Jordan Hollett.
Nice last couple of minutes for Jordan Hollett with the great save twice now off Gruden. Once on the turnover created by White, and now on the penalty shot. Logan Brown unit now back out on the ice, and he wins the draw.
Clean win for Logan Brown as it comes back to the point. And a shot that goes through traffic and just wide from Scheid. As Team White looks to get this out to center. So White leads us as just a shade offside, Gabriel Gagne's. White leads us 3-2, and I think they owe a lot. A lot of the play in this second period has been at the end to, if you're watching on Sens TV, our broadcast left, which is for us the far end
severe
of the
left. We're below the goal line here, basically to the left of Red goaltender Joey Decord.
But it has not been a busy period for the Red goaltenders. It's been Jordan Hollett stealing the show this period. McLeod and Jaros banging for it in behind the net as it's held in at the line by Caldas. Gagne against Logan Brown, and Brown wins it for Tkachuk. Trying to go rink wide, but Gendron got his stick on it, and the Whites have control. Chipped into the red zone. And playing it to the near side, McLeod. Tkachuk wins that and moves it out to center. Dumped in by Sturts. Team White will break it out. Nurmi on the forecheck. He's hit by Tykonic. Scarfo gets it ahead, and Dastus moves it to the line. Now a centering pass. Just misses. Wheeling there on the far side is Berzan, and he's really made an impression. Luka Berzan, he scored a goal. He's created some havoc.
He's got some wheels.
Invite after just missing out on being drafted this past season.
And you know what? Parker Kelly is a good example of a guy that, didn't get drafted. Got invited to the Sens Dev Camp last year. They impressed to the point he got an entry-level contract out of it.
Red continues to attack, looking for this tying goal in the second period as it comes back to the line. A point shot from Stewart, and that deflects out of play.
Speaking of Parker Kelly, the last sequence when he was on the ice about a minute and a half ago, he caught Christian Jaros, Jaros is the biggest, strongest guy on the ice. He's 6'3". He's a man already. He's not one of these younger guys that, he's got to get bigger. And Kelly caught him as he spun. It was a clean hit. He didn't like it at all. And Jaros tracked him down at center ice and got a piece of him before the line change as well. But maybe something to look for. He wasn't too impressed, and he took a number.
Team White attacking now, and the centering pass just missing. Lear on the near side. And now Lear runs into Novak as the Reds get it out to center. Flip back in deep into the red zone. Dastus Plays it to the left wing boards. Sturm takes a hit from Lyle, and the puck comes back to center. Trailmax sends it deep into the red zone. White getting a little more sustained pressure as this period wears on. Trailmax battling with Novak as Stewart moves it in behind the red net, and Dastus gets it out to center. Here's Novak, stops as he gains the white line. Looking to feed Sturm, goes to Lowhite in the right corner. Here's Lowhite. Works his way into the slot, a shot that misses wide. Rebound off the end boards, and they're able to bang it in.
Finally goes in.
And that is on the far side.
Nico Sturm.
Yeah, Nico Sturm, the invite out of Clarkson. And they finally beat Jordan Hollett, who's been sensational in this second period.
Only took 3 chances. Come on, Jordan, you got to have that.
3-3 the score.
And we checked earlier. You might have been thinking the same thing. Listening in, watching this. No relation, Nico Sturm. DeMarco.
Well, always good when you get a competitive game. That's always one of the
Turnover.
concerns is Team White able to get the wraparound try from Cruikshank, but just couldn't put it in at the far post. Colin White gets it in behind the net. That's always one of those things when you're divvying up the teams, you want to make sure it's competitive. The last thing you want is to have a 7-1 game. So Nico Sturm with a goal, and we're tied 3-3 as the Whites look to regain the lead. Centering pass broken up by Colin White. Trying to lead the rush the other way, but it's cut off. Centering pass intercepted by Lajoie. Hops over a stick, and Gagne has it now at center. Colin White dumps it back in, and the Whites will regroup. Here's Lajoie trying to fend off Gagne. Puck goes high into the air, and Kelly knocks it down.
Oh, he had McLeod all alone in front of the net if he could have got it there.
Logan Brown plays it up the boards on the far side, and the Whites have it at Lillibridge. Head to Schlappick. Now Gagne. He's ridden out on the near boards
Breakaway
by
opportunity.
Sturts,
Oh.
and here comes Logan Brown. Another penalty coming up against the Whites. Sturts over the line. He shoots, and that's a blocker saved by Hollett, but Team Red back on the power play.
Gabriel Gagne saved a breakaway. Logan Brown saw Brady Tkachuk. If he gets a clean stick on that, it's an easy pass up ice to Brady Tkachuk, and he is in alone. Actually, it was Parker Kelly, my mistake, who ended up hooking down Logan Brown. And if he doesn't do that, then it's a breakaway for Brady Tkachuk. But power play still to come here.
So a late power play here in the second period as Team Red looks to get into the lead, down 3-1 earlier in this game, and chance to watch Logan Brown and Brady Tkachuk try to work some magic on this power play. Here's Brown now on the left wing boards. In behind the net, Sturts now to Tkachuk. Trying to feed it back to the point, and Team White gets it out to center. Short-handed chance, and cutting to the front of the net was Formanton. There's that speed again from Alex Formanton, but just ran out of racetrack, and the puck goes back into the White zone. And a lead pass out to center. Formanton for Schlappick, feeds the trailer. Schlappick shoots, stick save. Made by DeCord. Schlappick looking for Formanton in behind the net. Now they trade places. Good work by Schlappick and Formanton on the penalty kill, as Tkachuk has the puck in behind the red goal.
Taken away by Formanton right off a Tkachuk stick. And
Formanton
Tkachuk wasn't
dodges
happy.
a
He
hit.
was coming for the hit.
Tkachuk showing his competitive fire right there after losing the puck. Took a run at Alex Formanton. Two players that saw each other in the snow in Buffalo. And
Brady scored in that game.
Yeah, Team USA won that game, but Team Canada got the better of the U.S., at least in the tournament. Didn't end up playing again against each other in the tournament, but Canada winning gold, U.S. winning the outdoor game in Orchard Park.
Did you like that? Having the outdoor game as part of the World Junior
I didn't
format?
have a problem with it. You know what? I'm all for growing the game. I wouldn't want it in a gold medal game for sure, but in a round-robin game, I had no problem with it. That's a tournament that, quite frankly, outside the hockey world, the scouting world, and outside of Canada, needs all the help that it can get to grow in other parts, because for some reason it just isn't treated as popularly as it is in Canada. Cruikshank with a pass across, and the one-timer is in, beating Decord on the far side. It's a great shot.
I think that was Burgess.
And it is Burgess with the goal. Todd Burgess, the RPI,
and he's a
native.
I find him to be still an intriguing prospect. High skill level. He's one of these guys that put up a pile of points in Alaska, but everybody will question the competition, the level of players that he was playing against. Sens take him in the mid-round, and then he has a serious knee injury where he missed a year and a half, all of his freshman year at RPI, and finally got healthy enough during last season. I'm really curious to see the kind of year he can have this year, where it's all about training leading into this year, and he's healthy enough, and we'll see what he's really got. But a nice finish there off a nice feed.
So back to a 4-3 Team White lead. Dangerous pass up the middle of the ice as we're into the last minute, and we've got
tripping call
another
coming.
Penalty coming up here. And Team Red back in the box, so this is an opportunity to White to build on this 4-3 lead.
White heading off into the box for tripping here. Face off coming to the right of Joey Decord. Colin White, Drake Batherson out for the kill. Tkachuk and Jaros in the back end.
Batherson able to clear it after White won the face-off. Now Team White gaining the red line on the far side. It's McLeod. Bouncing puck comes to Batherson. Across for Colin White. Gains the line, trying to cut to the middle. Gets it back. And Tkachuk will take over. Jaros for Colin White. And across the Team White line, sets up right corner. 3 white shirts trying to get it away from Colin White. And finally do. As we move into the final seconds of this second period. And there goes the horn to end the second period, and it's a 4-3 Team White lead, and I think they owe a lot of that to their goaltender, Jordan Hollett, who was outstanding, just giving up the one goal.
Was he ever? And highlight reel saves on a couple of them. He even stopped the penalty shot when John Gruden had an opportunity.
When we come back, we're going to be joined by Sean Donovan, Director of Player Development for the Ottawa Senators. It's a 4-3 Team White lead. This is the Ottawa Senators Development Camp Scrimmage here on Sens TV.
More experience, so what are you expecting from yourself?
I think just hard work, I've been through a development camp already, so obviously coming in with more experience, but I think the main focus is obviously to develop and get better out on the ice.
Is this an exciting time for young players in this organization? It seems like there's some spots opening up, there might be some chances.
Yeah, obviously I think there's going to be some chances, but we just got to keep working hard and ultimately just get better, I think.
Did last year's experience maybe help you to gain, and how do you feel it's going to help you come the fall?
I think it helped me out a lot. I was grateful for being with the big NHL team for the 2 weeks, and then having that little chance with Belleville there at the end of the season. So just practicing with stronger guys and faster tempo, I think it helped me moving back to the OHL, and and then to finish it in Belleville.
Your game improved the most last year?
I think just, I don't know, I'd say my offensively and defensively game improved the most. You know, I've been in the gym hard, trying to get stronger, and just given more ice time, a little bit of a rebuild year in London there, so just given more ice time and more situation on the power play, I think it helped on my game a lot.
Do you feel like you're getting close to being ready to play in the NHL?
I think, every camp like this, and obviously being in the gym every day, is one step closer. And you know, I think I just got little improvements to make, and I think I should be able to make the jump.
All right, welcome back here on Sens TV. It's Team White 4-3 over Team Red. We're through 40 minutes of play of the red and white game at the Richcraft Sensplex here in the East End. Lots of action, lots of goals, packed house here, lots of fun. And now we're joined in the second intermission by the Director of Player Development, Sean Donovan, who does, as I said earlier, a little bit of everything in this organization. But this is special for you especially because you get a chance to work with a lot of these young kids that have been in the organization, and you're getting the first look at the new draftees, the ones you will be working with to try to develop into NHL players. What have you liked so far?
Well, it's fun that I don't have to travel 6 hours somewhere to watch one of them. I get to see them all at the same time, so that's exciting. But it's fun. I think it's a great pace. It's the first year we've done the 3 periods, 20 minutes stop time, and the pace has been good. It's a 1-goal game. It's exciting going to the third period, but it's fun to watch the guys, especially the new drafts, to see how they're doing and how they'll do comparable to some guys like Colin White, who obviously played a lot of games in NHL last season. Willanen and Jaros even had a game, but it's just fun to see how the different levels even invite kids that you'd seen on the road and see them here and see how they compete against guys who have some NHL experience and AHL experience.
You've been high on Christian Jaros for a while, and to the point where some people say he's your son.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
And you admit that.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Have you moved? Is there somebody else now? Because I think it's pretty clear. I think a lot of people are now high on Christian Jaros, and it's a matter of time, maybe before he becomes an NHL player. Who's your new favorite, or am I putting you too much on the spot?
No, you know what? Watching out there, and I haven't talked to him a ton, but I like Lohite. Obviously young guy, our 7th rounder this season, but Parker Kelly has been. I think he's my new son a little bit. You see him and Jaros are going at it out there.
Him, yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it. That's the way Parker Kelly, obviously a kid that wasn't drafted last season, and our amateur scouts who do a great job, headed by Trent Mann. Obviously invited him. He went to rookie tournament. We signed him. It was a great pick. He would have been a high draft choice this year, but now he's in our organization. Played the end of the season with Belleville, scored a goal, but he's a dirty, ugly, scored dirty goals, but obviously can skate and play hockey. But he plays the right way, like a hard-nosed Western League hockey game. So I really like the way Parker Kelly plays.
Is there a different opportunity for some of the younger guys right now? I mean, just in talking to Guy Boucher in the first intermission, saying, he's evaluating these guys right now. It's not just about, development is part of this development camp, but for some players, there's an opportunity to make the big club here this year.
Well, that's the thing. Talking to them when they first came in, we told them, obviously, it's development. We're going to work on and teach, and there'll be a lot of that, but at the same time, it's evaluation. So not very often are you going to be in front of your coach of your NHL team, your GM, the coach of the American Hockey League team. Is everybody in the organization is here, and so you're being evaluated. So don't think it's the middle of summer and you don't have to. So we warned the guys before that were coming in that be ready, because obviously it's an evaluation. Everybody who makes decisions in this organization is watching. So obviously, and it's from top to bottom. It's talked about Parker Kelly, told the guys about his story so that they understood the free agents coming in that they have a chance to sign here. You can get invited to rookie camp, and after rookie camp, you can maybe have a chance to sign like Parker Kelly. If you prove yourself, it's NHL guys like Tkachuk who's shown for the first time. Obviously Guy Boucher watched him on tape, but hasn't seen him a ton live. So it's a chance for him to see him, and he's going to be fighting for a job in the NHL. And Logan Brown and Formanton and Batherson and all those guys, and Willanen fighting for jobs in the NHL, and Jaros. And then after that, you have guys that are fighting for jobs in the American Hockey League.
You mentioned Brady Tkachuk. This is your first chance to work with him this week. What have you seen from him here tonight and just throughout the week?
That's great. Comes from a great family, obviously. It's the game's not new to him, obviously, the high-level game with his dad, but he is a great kid. Got a presence, just an aura about him. It's somebody you want to go to war with, and he's got an edge, a nasty side. I watched him a lot last season, and I loved him as a player. It's fun to watch. He's going to be a really exciting player in this organization, so fans should be happy.
You ever fight his dad?
No, I didn't know. No, that's a big beast to move. I don't think you move him.
Did you play with him in Atlanta?
No, I missed him. He came in
Okay.
after, so he came in for that one playoff run they had, the 4 games, and out the quick transition there.
The Donovan era wasn't quite there yet.
No, it wasn't. There wasn't a lot of winning there for that.
Usually it's Todd White. We ride for that, but here we are.
Yes,
it's
you
all
can ride
good.
me for it.
Okay, it's good. All right, so we got 20 minutes still to go here. You're talking about its evaluation more so at this development camp, more so than it's ever been at other development camps, because we know there's change in the organization. It's already started, and Guy kept telling us in the first intermission with a glint in his eye, there's more change coming, there's going to be spots here, and he's excited to really start the evaluation process right now, which is not normal at an evaluation camp. In your opinion, how many guys do we see here could have a legit chances to play in the NHL at the start of the regular season?
I mean, things can change here, obviously, but right now, and the players know also, they're not dumb. They look at the depth chart and the roster, and they hear this and that, so they know they have a chance here to, obviously crack the lineup because there's spots up for grabs. So, obviously, you look at Formanton, who had an unbelievable season in London last year, and unbelievable speed, gets on the puck, and but then at the same time, as an organization, you have to decide what's best for his development. Is to go back in London, be on the power play, because as a 16-year-old, he didn't play a lot. He was a fourth liner, didn't get a ton of time. Last year was the first year, and you could see the strides he made from the start of the year to the end of the year, and obviously World Juniors. But you want him to go back and be power play, so
let him have the puck more.
Let him have the puck.
What is his offensive ceiling in your? Is there more? How much offense is in? Because we watch him play. I think he's going to play.
Yes,
but can he?
He could play in the NHL right now for me as a checking guy. But
can he be a top 2-line guy though? Can he score enough at the NHL level?
I think he can, but you're going to have to give him a chance because. To score goals in the NHL, you got to be on a power play.
Yeah.
And last year was the first year that he's played a power play. So, when guys get pigeonholed in that third, fourth, it's tough to get points in the NHL when you're, you're out there, 10 minutes, 12 minutes a game, you're checking maybe 15 minutes, but you're always taking draws in the defensive zone. You're always playing against the other team's top lines. And for you, really, it's just to not allow them to score a goal. And so for Formanton, if he comes in here and blows it out of the water and earns a spot, and he can prove that he's going to help offensively or put up numbers, but I don't think they want to put him in a position to not where he's not going to be scoring and improving and have a chance to be a top 6 forward.
Do you see a little bit of yourself in him? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because you had great speed as a junior.
Yeah.
We saw it with the Ottawa 67s, and you ended up playing in that World Junior in Red Deer.
Yeah.
But you got put in the NHL pretty young, and maybe you didn't play as high up in the lineup as. Is that what we're talking about here?
Oh, it's 100%. It sounds weird. I mean, he's a better player than me, obviously.
No,
but at the same time,
you got to the league on your speed early, and he did too.
Well, when you get there early, then obviously you're pigeonholed in the third, fourth. I was doing everything I could to be that third, fourth line guy, so I could stick in the NHL. But then you never get power play time. It goes 3-4 years where you're checking forward, and you have no chance of being a power play guy. And then every young guy that comes in, the Tkachuks and stuff, they're top 6 guys, and they have chance on power plays. You have no chance, so you're pigeonholed into that role. And there's lots of guys in the NHL. You watch the Vegas this year. There's lots of guys who have been that third, fourth line guys, and then they put into a position where they have a chance more offensively, and they prove they can do it. There's lots of guys in the league like that, but it's a tricky thing. About the balance of development and about winning in the NHL. Obviously, you want to win there. That's the most important thing. But you want to win for a long time and have a guy like Formanton really help your organization for a long time.
Another guy who I think most people view as there's no doubt he's going to play, but how high is the ceiling? Colin White. What do you see out of him in working with him last year and just what he's done here at camp so far?
He's a very competitive player, and obviously last year he wasn't happy with the start of his season. He went down to Belleville and worked on his game and kept getting better. Even his habits got better, his work, and he knew there was some things he needed to work on, and he'll go and work on it. He's super competitive. By the end, he played with us, and then he went to World Championships. And Patrick Kane loved him. We were talking to people and he got to play a little bit with Patrick Kane, but he got to play on Team USA, and Patrick Kane told one of the people that we have, Jerry Townend, who's in our organization, don't mess this kid up, he's a good player. So when you get stuff like that from guys like Patrick Kane, you have a good player on your, in your lineup, and he's a young guy, and it was a bit of a transition. But this year you see out on the ice how much confidence he's got. He's a man amongst boys. He's here to, take a job and then not only just take a job, but make a presence and help change and help us win here.
All right, good stuff. We'll leave it there. We got 20 minutes more still to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director of Player Development, Sean Donovan, joining us here
Thank you, boys.
on Sens TV. We're back in a moment with the third period, live from the Richcraft Sensplex.
What are you looking to accomplish this week?
No, obviously just meet the guys and get used to this organization. But obviously, first day, and I'm really excited. And so far, it's gone smooth, and I'm really happy right now. And I get to reconnect with old guys and old friends that I've had.
It's a different, it's a different kind of pressure being a first-round pick and going as high as you.
I mean, I don't think there's any pressure. Obviously, I'm very motivated and very competitive. So obviously, this week is, I'm just gonna work my hardest and have some fun. But obviously, I don't think there's any pressure put on me. I'm just gonna do my thing and work my hardest.
Are you gunning to play in the NHL this year? Or?
Yeah, obviously, it's a big goal of mine, and but we'll see if I'm ready or not. But I think I'm going to finish. We're going to see how development camp goes and see how I feel, then I'll probably make a decision after that.
That's quite a story. That was my question. Story about when do you have to make that decision, or when do you want to make that decision?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have plenty of time this summer, so I'm just going to see how development camp goes and just enjoy it and soak it all in, soak in all the information, and then discuss with obviously with them, and then discuss with my family and my advisors. So, but no, I don't think there's pressure on me to make a decision quick. I'm just going to take my time and obviously just soak it all in.
It's moving fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously the draft is really quick, and we're looking forward to the draft. And now it's that's behind us now, and now it's new goal and new focus right now is. But no, obviously it was a whirlwind, and it was an unbelievable experience to have that happen and share that with family and friends.
Do you see opportunity in an organization like this where they're looking to go younger? And
yeah, obviously they still have a great group in there, and a lot of great older players. But yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity, and yeah, obviously it's a goal of mine to be in the NHL is sooner than later. But it all depends if I'm ready or not. So obviously I'm going to really focus on my training and nutrition this summer, like I have been, and just keep working every day, but take it day by day, and just focus on just getting better every day.
Fourth one. It's good to be back out on the ice with these young guys. Be a leader out here for some of them. So, it's been good so far.
20 games last year. How do you make the next step, I guess, to a full-time job this year?
Yeah, I think I ended the season on a right note. I was playing well. I got the opportunity to go to Worlds there. Our team had a good Worlds. I think I did well, play with some good guys there. So. This summer I think just working on my skill a little bit more, skating, getting stronger on the ice, and those kind of things.
As you hear that term rebuild and stuff, are you anxious? Is it what may happen, with being a young guy and looking towards the future?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's part of the reason some of us older guys are here. Being with all these young guys here. I am a young guy, but even seeing these younger guys, so many of these guys have skill, and it's exciting for next season already.
Is there a bit of a rivalry with Tkachuk being the BU, BC kind of guys there?
Yeah, I've known him for a long time. Our families are close friends, so I've been giving him a hard time here and there, but he's always a good guy.
How well do you guys hang out in the summer?
Yeah, so I'm real good friends with Matthew. I played with his brother for a long time. Keith was my coach for me and Matthew growing up on tournament teams, so they have a house in the Cape, so our families always go down there for the 4th of July and things like that.
Who's the better brother then as a hockey player?
We got the right one.
You mentioned the World. You got to play with some good guys. You're amazing to play with Kane and Goudreau a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely special. Especially at the end of the tournament, the medal rounds, I was playing with Kaner, DeBrincat, those kind of guys. So, it definitely gave me some confidence there, and there's some good things to take in the summer for that.
Are you happy to be a winger, or are you still hoping maybe to move to center? Do you care?
Not too much. I think I can play both spots. So, whatever happens at the beginning take that spot.
All right, welcome back to it. Teams are back out onto the ice here. We're getting set for the third period of action. Team White leads Team Red 4-3 through 40 minutes of play here at the Richcraft Sensplex. Thanks to all of our guests so far. We've had 4 interviews throughout this Sens TV webcast of the Red and White scrimmage at this year's development camp. We had Chief Amateur Scout Trent Mann, the General Manager Pierre Dorion on in our pregame show. And we had Sean Donovan just on in our second intermission, the Director of Player Development, and also Head Coach Guy Boucher joined us in our first intermission here as well. 20 minutes still to come here, and a great turnout. Packed house at the Richcraft Sensplex, and the third period is just about to get underway.
All right, set to go. We got another goaltender in for Team White. This is the third goalie for Team White, and that would be their recently drafted goalie out of Cape Breton, Kevin Mandelise. So he'll be up against Joel Decord, who has already been in for half a period. 3 goalies on one team and 2 on the other.
Spoiler alert, he's big, as pretty much every drafted goalie these days is. 6'4".
In the meantime, it's a White power play looking to build on a 4-3 lead, and here's Schlappick. The far side, his shot takes a deflection, goes into the corner. Setting up there and working it back to the point. It comes to Gendron. Now Bernard Docker with a shot through traffic, and Decord with a save. Loose puck goes to the side of the goal, and Team Red back at full strength. Looking to even this game at 4 apiece as Jacob Bernard Docker makes the pass up the right side, but that's cut off by Batherson. Looking to feed the trailer on the play. Yaros dishes back to Batherson, but he's tied up. And Parker Kelly moves this out to center. His pass off the speedy Formanton. Goes in on the forecheck. Kelly supports, but the Reds will get this out to center. Pass from Logan Brown to Sturts, his shot. And that stopped. Pad save Mandelise, and Parker Kelly moves this out to center. McLeod dodges a check, gains the red line, drops it, and working his way in behind the goal, that's Caldas. As the Reds will attack again, but smart play there to keep it in by Team White. So reading that was Parker Kelly. Reds now get it back to center. Cutting to the middle of the ice, Brady Tkachuk, but McLeod takes it away, and they'll send it back deep. Reds out to center, it's Lynch. They regroup, and here they come again. Lynch fakes the shot, moves it down low, broken up by Trailmax, and he'll bank this out to center. Kuffner stolen away from him. Good play there by Scheid. Back comes Trailmax trying to split the D. Nothing there. Some physical play as Scarfo throws his weight around. Scarfo now moves it to the right of his own net. Lajoie breaks it out to center. Gaining the line was Scarfo, but didn't go far.
No call there. Should have been a tripping call, AJ. Can I rant like you? Missed call, AJ.
Go ahead.
Atrocious.
Aspiro now to center for White. His pass off a stick. Play a little choppy here to start this third period. Team White still leading by a score of 4-3 over Team Red. Now a long shot by low height. That's stopped by Mandelise, who gets his pad on this one as well, as the Whites will clear it to center. And this time Mandelise will hold for a face-off.
As mentioned earlier, Mandalay's into the game, listed at 6'4". Just going for the 5 goaltenders that are at this camp here. Joe Decord is the small guy at 6'3". He is 6'3", 205 pounds. He is the shortest goaltender of the 5 here at this development camp.
Well, look at the Vezina Trophy winner, right?
Yep.
Pecorine, and it's a pretty good indication of where the NHL has been going for a long time.
Absolutely.
To bigger goaltenders. Out to play it as Decord, and almost turned over, but the Reds will get it out to center. Nice move by Batherson, plays it off the side of the net, gets it back. Batherson tied up by Formanton. As Gruden runs into Bernard Docker, and the Reds look to get this to the front of the net. Centering pass, and Batherson with those quick hands getting it in front to Gruden, and he just fired it wide. Batherson tied up by Formanton. Formanton will get it out to center as Team Red regroups at their own line. Batherson gets it in deep, and Red will make a change. Here's Lillibridge. Up the middle with a pass on the right side, and wheeling to center is Gabriel Gagne. And across the red line, stops in the left corner. Pass through the slot, and this will be broken up by Brady Tkachuk. He'll skate it out to center and over the white line, tripped up as he gets it in behind the net. Sturtz trying to steal it. Down to the corner, Logan Brown. Kelly knocks it away from him for Willan. An outlet pass up the left wing boards, and Brown has it at center as Red will regroup. Ooh, a little knee-on-knee action, and that's going to lead to a penalty here. And going to the box is McLeod.
That was also almost, I wouldn't call it too many men in the ice, but almost a premature substitution. He came on for his man and came on rather quickly, and he jumped right into Lajoie. Well, naturally, it's his instinct, but it was kind of a bang-bang line change, and he found himself in a tough spot, and I don't know if there was any malice there, AJ. He just reacted and stuck his knee out, and unfortunately got Lajoie. Good call, though.
Gregor McLeod, who split last year between Charlottetown and Quebec. Undrafted player in the box. Team Red on the power play, looking to tie this development camp scrimmage up at 4 apiece as it's cleared down the ice by Team White's Boston Lear. As Red will break it out to center. The centering pass just misses Colin White and comes back to the right point.
And certainly not just rolling the lines anymore here in the third period. The white line was just out there the shift prior and right back out now with an opportunity on the power play.
Colin White battling with Caldas in the corner. Gruden gets the puck, moves it back to the point. Tyconic now to White in the half wall. Rink wide pass into the slot, a shot, and that's stopped by Mandalese. Here's Gruden in behind the net. A lot of white shirts in there, and comes back to the point. Tyconic across for Yaros. Little slap pass misses Batherson, and it's cleared into his own bench by Cruikshank. So faceoff stays in the white zone. Another 38 seconds to go in this power play.
Boy, Batherson was able to one-time that. That would have been impressive. That was, you called it a slap pass. It was pretty much a slap shot. He almost made an attempt at it, but it was just needed maybe a different lie to try to get it right up and down there.
Face off to the right of the White goal, and the Whites win it. And it's Trail Max who clears it down the ice. As Red will set up the breakout. Lajoie. It's no worse for wear after that scary looking knee-on-knee collision. Tkachuk moves to the middle of the ice. Now Logan Brown trying to feed Tkachuk at the side of the net. Ooh, big hit by Sturtz. And the puck comes back to Sturtz behind the goal. He'll play it back to the point and get it back in the slot. Andy Sturtz He shoots, and a stick save made by Mandalese. Tkachuk wins the battle, gets it in behind the net for Logan Brown. Now the point shot here from Scheid, that deflects as it's loose in front of the net. Backhand shot in tight. Tkachuk is robbed by Mandalese, and Team White will get it out to center. They're back at full strength. Here's speedy Alex Formanton with a shot down the left wing. That's stopped by Decord. Now side of the net. Another shot is stopped as Schlappick had that second effort, and he's battling with Brady Tkachuk. White still on the puck. Wolanin, what a great skater he is. As it comes to the front of the net, Decord will cover for a face-off.
I ended up just doing a bit of an ISO cam, if you will, on Brady Tkachuk that whole shift. I think he stuck three guys, kind of undercut somebody else leaving the zone, just trying to get a piece of everybody at all times. You can see why the brass, certainly they love his skill level, but they love the way he's going to drive people nuts in the opposition.
White in behind the net. It's Nurmi trying to cut in front, and no one there to bang it home from the slot, and Team Red will work it into the White zone. And nice little feather pass there by Berzan for Lynch, but just couldn't get a shot away, and Team White will regroup. Here's Wolanin. Oh, nice little piece of skill there, bouncing that puck on a stick a couple of times as McLeod will try to bank this out to center. Lynch intercepts. Now a quick shot here by Scarfo, and that just misses wide.
This line's been good, especially Berzan and Lynch. They've created numerous opportunities here this evening.
Here's Caldas for Gendron. He'll wheel to center with a pass on the right side that connects with McLeod. He gets it back to the point. Caldas, his shot, and that just deflects wide. Red will clear the zone. Again, looking for the tying goal here. As we hit the midway point of this third period, 4-3 Team White leads. Nice play by Caldas defending there as Yaros couldn't get that pass across, and Red will regroup just inside their own line. Dump back into the red zone. Decord out to play it, and he'll leave it in behind his own net. As the Reds look to break out to center. Lead pass, and this will deflect off the netting here at the Richcraft Sensplex. Out of play it goes.
Just a reminder, we got the scrimmage here this evening at the Richcraft Sensplex, back at the Bell Sensplex. Next opportunity, and it's open for all the practices anyway, but the 3-on-3 tournament's going to be at the Bell Sensplex on the Stat Monday holiday at 9 o'clock this Monday, 9 a.m., when the doors open up for that.
Puck in the corner, a 2-on-2 battle. Lyle and Kufner trying to fend off Batherson and White. White comes out with a puck. His pass broken up by Lear. White with a second effort able to keep it in briefly, and now the puck comes out to center. Here's Kufner. Long shot, stick save made by Decord. As it comes back to Brady Lyle into the slot, he shoots, and that is blocked. Red will get this out to center. Here's Colin White looking on the far side. Goes off the boards. Lajoie now to Batherson. In behind the net. Here's Batherson for White. Plays this back to the point. Comes to the left side. Kick down low towards Batherson. And now Batherson has it in behind the net for White. He centers it. Goes off a skate. Good tie-up by Lear on Gruden. And Team White will get it out to center. Here's Lyle. All by himself. His mates had gone off on a change. He delays long enough to get it in behind the net. Smart play by Brady Lyle. And it comes back to the point on the left side. Held in there by Aspero. Tkachuk with a pass to the middle of the ice, but Team Red couldn't clear it. Now a shot from the far side, and they score. Team White has taken a 5-3 lead.
Really like Brady Tkachuk's game. He showed a lot of great things, but that was a poor play. Just threw it to the middle of the ice, looking for a breakout. It ended up being a giveaway, a turnover. Red never got the puck back, and White buries it now for a 2-goal lead here in the third period at the Richcraft Sensplex. And that was Jordan getting the last touch on that.
Zach Jordan out of the University of Nebraska, Omaha, with the goal, and it's a 5-3 White lead.
A slashing penalty. Stick was slashed out of the hands pretty much with Stewart. Scenic gallery here, including the general manager, Pierre Dorion, likes that call. Maybe wants to see another power play.
Well, we've got a red power play. I don't mind a
Which will
power
happen.
play here because I want to see a little tie action.
That's right. Well, and it's also right down here in front of us, too, at our vantage point. White controls off the draw, and Burgess sends us down the ice.
So Team Red, another power play looking to cut into this White lead. 5-3 the score. As Red will break this out to center. That could have been a trip on Brady Tkachuk. And boy, I thought that was pretty
I think
marginal from the officials. Looks like it's Tom Sweeney down there. OHL ref, local guy. Might have missed that call.
Oh, Brady Tkachuk throwing his weight around.
Sent down the ice, and Team Red will set up their breakout.
Yeah. Tkachuk and Schlappick have something going here. This has been going on for a couple of shifts now.
So Red breaks this out to center. It comes back into the White zone. Schlappick runs into Scarfo, and then it's cleared. And here's that speed of Formanton, and Decord.
Here's that speed of Decord.
Had to really be right there, because that's one of those, if you hesitate with the speed of Formanton, that would have been an ugly mistake. Here's Formanton now. The guy that I think, having watched him in junior, and his numbers almost mirror Alex Formanton's numbers in junior, is Andreas Athanasiou. Athanasiou is so fast, he blows by guys at the NHL level, and that's kind of how fast Formanton is in junior and how fast Athanasiou was when he was in London and Barrie. So maybe a good comparable there.
But I thought it was an interesting discussion that we had with Sean Donovan, and kind of probing the topic further with him in the intermission. Like, the point I'm driving at here is we all know he can play, but if you wanted to make the argument for putting him back in junior, when you know he can play in the NHL now, it's just to see what is left there offensively. You know, get him back there to play the primary role from the get-go on the junior club and learn to play on the power play all season long, and just see if there's any, like, that's the argument to be made that way. But man, I don't know, like, it's he can do so many things for you now. Can he develop that at the NHL level? That's going to be the question.
Well, and there's tough questions either way, right? I mean, obviously, you don't want to pigeonhole him as a bottom six player for the rest of your life or the rest of his hockey career. At the same time, you don't want him bored down in junior. Now, I don't think he would be bored, because I think playing more power play time would be beneficial, but he's already done a lot of things in junior and won a World Junior Championship. So certainly some interesting decisions. And in the end, he has to make those decisions interesting for the coaching staff and management by coming to camp and playing well and earning a spot.
Well, he was one of the youngest players in NHL history when he played last year, because he turned 18, like, he made the draft by 2 days. And so he is still such a young player.
White's back at full strength, leading 5-3. And here's Nurmi gaining the red line with a shot, and he scores. Nice goal.
That's his second.
From the Finnish prospect, and that's Markus Nurmi with 2 goals today. And White pulling away. They lead at 6-3.
First one was a beauty, posted in, and that one just cutting across the top, showing a little bit of patience. using the traffic to his advantage, and he's got 2 here, and you're right. This one starting to get a little bit out of hand. See if Red has a bit of a pushback here.
So Team Red running out of steam here. See if they have one more pushback to get a little closer. Here's Batherson with a centering pass, broken up by Trail Max. And here comes Jordan, stood up at the line. Now Batherson, back inside White territory. He'll drop this puck, gets it back in the corner from White. Gruden into the corner towards White, and Team White will get it out to center. Jordan dumps it deep. DeCord gloves it and tried to feed it out to center, but
he was looking
that's
for
cut off by Wolanin.
You know what? Mandelis did that so quickly, and he identified who was up at the far blue line. It was his old teammate, Drake Batherson. I wonder if they played that game before back in Cape Breton. I want to see Shalapik and Brady Tkachuk have another shift against each other. There's been 2 in a row. There's no love lost. There's something going on there.
Well, again, it's good when you've got competitive guys that know that, hey, they're not just here for development camp. They're here hoping to maybe win jobs in the fall. Team White attacking again. Looking to build on this 6-3 lead. Mandelis will leave this, and it'll be icing against Team Red.
Logan Brown with a bit of a errant pass towards Brady Tkachuk there, so that will come all the way back down to the other end of the ice. And Logan Brown, highly touted, former first-round pick, made the team out of camp last year, played a few games, goes back to his final year of junior. I think the question with Logan Brown, how quickly can he get his game up to an NHL pace? And I'm not talking just skating, decision-making, AJ, to play in a top 6 role and a top 2-line center in the NHL level.
Well, had a great playoff this year. The only real big problem he's had the last couple of years is just staying healthy.
Yeah, he's spent a lot of time rehabbing here in Ottawa
the last couple of years, but Tkachuk getting into it with Aspero here in the corner as the puck comes out to center. Team Red attacking again. Centering pass and just fired wide of the far post. Nice pass there by Taconic. And Scarfo couldn't find the back of the net. Red will attack again. Little feather pass from Tkachuk trying to get that to Scarfo. To Lynch. Ends back into the red zone. Here's Lynch now. Couldn't get it out. Caldis holds the line. Long shot deflects out of play. Just 2.5 to go here and a 6-3 Team White lead.
Back to Logan Brown. What are your thoughts on how quickly, he's got a chance to make the team out of camp this year and become a full-time NHL player. You can see the poise he's always had. He's got great vision, and he really uses his size and his reach to change passing angles, finds teammates well. And like many players that have success offensively at a lower level, it's not just the foot speed, it's about the decision-making, just making that decision that much faster. How quickly can that come together, do you think, for Logan Brown?
Time will tell at camp. I think he has a very intriguing skill set that you just don't see. A guy with that kind of size that can dominate down low and then quickly make plays with his vision. He's got tremendous vision that you just can't teach.
Well, and what he's got, Jason Spezza, when he was coming up with Ottawa, that's the one thing you notice with a real strength in his game, AJ, was he's got the ability to find guys and change the passing angle with how big he is and his reach without moving his feet, right? and open up a lane for himself, for his teammates, and Logan Brown's got that kind of ability as well. I'm not comparing him directly. Like if you could have the career that Jason Spetz has had, you'd be thrilled with that. But, he's got that same kind of skill set with his size and reach and his vision.
Late attack here from Team Red. A point shot gets through, and Mandelise, who's been perfect in this third period, able to make the save through traffic. Schlappick with a puck now, trying to fend off Sturm, and he'll get this out to center. Here's Christian Jaros. Back inside the white zone. On the far side, long shot stopped by Mandelise, and he holds on for the faceoff. Just over a minute to go.
Wonder if you'd bother pulling the goaltender at this point. I guess not.
Team Red is elected not to. Whites win it. Here's Parker Kelly to center. As we are into the last minute. Batherson moves this to center. Here's Gruden. Team White able to gain control. Gagne to center for Wolanin. Now Gagne gains the red line. Gagne shoots, and that took a deflection and goes wide. Gagne centers it. Broken up in front of the net. Red with about 25 seconds to try and get one more. Colin White with a shot. That's stopped by Mandelise. Gruden with a pass back to the point. Long shot. Ooh.
Ow.
Hit his own man.
Colin White.
Hit Colin White right in front of the net.
And he's not happy. He's thinking, this game's over. Why did that happen?
Limps off toward the bench, and that's a tough way for this game to end for Colin White. And Team White wins it by a score of 6-3. Is some pretty good skill on display here at the Richcraft Sensplex.
No, I think this was a free event for fans to come to. I think they thoroughly enjoyed themselves. Saw a real hockey game, and that this is the first time they've done the 3 20-minute periods, like treating it like a real game, the red and white here. Marcus Nurmi, I guess the offensive star of the game with a couple of goals here. But I think fans came to see some of the legit high-end prospects for the first time, and namely Brady Tkachuk. And I think if you were coming to watch that tonight, you were thoroughly impressed with what you saw from Brady Tkachuk and the type of player that they drafted.
Yeah, no question. I thought a lot of players looked good, and when you look at, in particular, the forwards, but hey, you've got Christian Wolanin and Christian Jaros on the back end pushing for spots. And you talk about Colin White and Drake Batherson and Alex Formanton and Logan Brown, Brady Tkachuk, Philip Schlappick, all sorts of guys, and just the competitiveness of them. And excited to watch the development of them over the summer to see how they do in rookie camp and how many of these guys can legitimately push for spots in the fall. I think Guy Boucher was probably the most interesting interview tonight, just in terms of how excited he was and the number of spots that could be open and available for these young players. And so that quickly turns what is a development camp into an evaluation camp, and a real important summer for a lot of these players, for sure.
That was certainly the tone you and I were getting. We chatted with Guy a little bit after the interview as well, and what Sean Donovan had to say, and that this is not just your run-of-the-mill development camp. They are evaluating here, and this is the first step for a lot of these young players to make that impression, with legitimate spots available on the big roster coming up here in the fall. All right, AJ, that'll do it. Always a pleasure. Thanks for flying in from Calgary for this one. Hey, off the bird after calling the Red Blacks game last night. Good to see you as always. Play-by-play on back-to-back nights in 2 different cities. You're just all over the place. 2 different sports. Is there anything you can't do?
Well, I spilled water on somebody earlier,
all right,
so
I wasn't going to bring it up, but you just did. All right, real quick, we have a nice little perch here at the end at the Richcraft Sensplex, and we have some water being brought to us, and AJ decided to dump it all over somebody. But he didn't decide to.
So I'd like to apologize to everyone I dumped water on, but hopefully you're okay. At least, you know what? Go outside, and it's 30-plus degrees.
Yes.
It's almost like I was doing them a favor.
All right. Well, you'll be back. You got some coverage on TSN 1200 for free agent for Edsy coming up on Sunday. But players are saluting the fans here before they leave the ice. For AJ Jakiewicz, I'm Steve Lloyd. Don't forget the 3-on-3 scrimmage open to the public. Bell Sensplex, 9 o'clock Monday morning. Go check that out as well. Thanks for watching on Sens TV.